I think we need a Nebulon B fest.
Ooh, yeah. How about all of these ships versus about 30 Nebulon Bs?
The destruction of Galvardus' ship? Was that Galvardus? Yeah, Thalassa.
Yeah. This would have been what would have happened if I don't know, Riken was emperor and he sent a fleet hidden in the unknown regions.
Only use small ships.
So much more flexible. It reminds me of the Matrix with the Sentinels.
Reminds me of just like a school of anchovies or something.
But we get every Star Destroyer attack this one Viscount. Oh god.
So, if people don't see a video from you for the next few days...
Just thinking that. Somehow burnt out my computer, is that possible? Hey guys, welcome to the stream. We are, as the title says, building and testing custom Star Wars fleets in Empire at War Thrawn's Revenge. Open bracket, new mode preview, closed bracket. I'm here with Thrawn's Revenge mod lead and overall not great fella, but at least decent fella, Corey, from the YouTube channel CoreyLoses and Corey's Datapad. Corey, would you like to say hello?
I wanted to say hello before you started there, but then it just went downhill.
Well, that's how it goes when my streams start usually. No, but do you want to tell people a bit about the mod, what it's all about, you know, what your focuses are and stuff?
Right, well, Thrawn's Revenge is a post and/or mod for Star Wars Empire at War. We also have a Clone Wars era mod called Father, but we do a lot to overhaul the galactic and tactical levels with new mechanics. What we're looking at today is a fleet simulator based on your request, Eckhart. So,
not gonna lie, it made me feel really special.
This is all you're doing, and all the mistakes that are still in the mode, or any bugs and still in the mode, that's you too.
Well, I do appreciate how you like crank this thing out in like half an hour, it seems.
Yeah, my girlfriend went home for the weekend, and I just had nothing better to do. So.
Okay, cool. That's actually kind of how I started my YouTube channel. Kelsey had to move back to Halifax, so I had nothing better to do. Anyway, let's get into... So, how close to final would you say that, like, what we're seeing today is, Corey?
There's still a few features I want to roll out to the mode, which basically what the mode is you get to pick the fleets that you're going to be using and the enemy's going to be using, and you're able to build up, ignoring pop cap, ignoring build limits. So right now you can only play as the Empire. We're going to have it so you can have whatever factions you want in the mod. You can have like an 8-faction, 3-way playing as whichever faction. So that still needs to be done. Right now it's just Empire versus New Republic and Republic versus CIS. I also want to add in the ability to to decide where you want the ships to go, so that's still to come. But other than that, the mode is more or less functional. A lot of it's still there, so...
Cool. So, I guess how many factions are in the mod now? Is it like 8?
I think there's 8 playable ones, but then there's also stuff like the
Warlords and the Havens, yeah. The Huts.
And Siruvi and stuff, Huts, where you'll be able to put in their ships as well.
Right. Okay, so to access this, and again, so this isn't on the Steam version right now. By the way, guys, the best place to play Empire at War is on Steam. And this, oh my god, look at that Nebulon B line. Holy cow. And this mod is available on Steam Marketplace for free, of course. So right now, you access it by going to Single Player, Galactic Conquest, and it's kind of a custom Galactic Conquest campaign. Corey, does difficulty actually alter AI behavior, or just like income and stuff?
There are some changes to AI behavior with difficulty. A lot more on the tactical level.
Okay.
Or on the strategic
grand
level.
strategic, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Because like usually the AI will let you have a certain number of victories before it attacks you. If you're on easy, it's over a dozen, I think, and on hard it's like 1 or 2.
Gotcha.
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade complete.
Is this a new Viscount model, Corey?
No, the Viscount needs to be updated. We have a new texture set up for Mon Calamari stuff. I want to make the model a bit higher.
What is that?
So,
What are these? Where do these come from?
you just started the battle.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I just wanted to do a quick, just to show everyone how it works. I called in a Viscount, called in an Executor.
Oh, I may have accidentally placed some fighters on the map or something.
Oh yeah, that must have been what it was.
Or sometimes there's some issues where, especially with the SSDs, the fighters will spawn really far out.
Yeah.
Because we spawn fighters differently than the base game does. It gives us more control if we script it in, so we can have different stuff for different factions and be able to bring fighters back to the so sometimes it just messes up and spawns them too far away.
Right. That makes sense. It would actually kind of be... So eventually, like, obviously, right now, the ships don't start... It's like a sort of an asymmetrical start with the...
interceptor here.
With the Executor starting. And eventually, I guess it'll just be either side of the map or whatever, right?
For the spawn points? For
Yeah.
the factions?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that I do want to do is add in the ability to pick where either side is going to spawn. So there'll be a thing you build, and then you place that as a marker.
Oh, okay.
And then that faction ships will spawn there. So you can spawn some in one place, and then move the marker, and then spawn them a different place. Right now, this was just where the markers were on the map.
Predictions for the battle?
I think the Viscounts,
Yeah.
gotta win.
It should. I mean, you do gain a lot from human-controlled players, just because... But, I guess there's not really any critical systems, are there? Not really. I mean, no.
Just individual weapons. On ships like this, there will be engine hardpoints. I don't think the Viscount has one right now. The Executor only has one, but that's not going to really factor in too much.
No.
One, you're not going to try to run away.
No. You might just try to get behind him. I meant to ask, so you mentioned something when we were chatting before about, like, how you're changing, like, shield piercing? How's that going to work?
Yeah, so one of the things that I don't like about having shields pierce in a lot of other mods...
Oh man, he's crushing me.
Yeah, you're gonna lose. Is that you just, like, target the shield generator, and then half the ship's effective HP is gone, and everyone does that. That's not like a tactical move. It's the clear thing to do that the player will do and the AI won't always do.
Yeah.
And then, like, bombers just become the be-all, end-all, always use this.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to simulate the particle shields, which would block physical projectiles a different way. Looks like you're going through...
They're making love. Just let it happen. Yeah, Emperor's Spear operation. Not really. Okay, so will they have like a separate? Like, will you be able to destroy those or not?
No, so they'll be up the whole time. I think there's going to be a hull level threshold that'll turn off the particle. So if you go below like 30% hull strength, then they'll no longer be functional.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Both of these are actually models that are going to be updated soon. The most of the smaller ships have started getting updates.
Yeah, we'll show
These
some in a
models were
second.
made in like 2012 when we were starting our Sins mod, and that was before we knew you could compress the model file, so they'd be...
You could fit a lot more into it without crashing the game.
Yeah, because Sins had some serious memory limit issues that have been both fixed, and you can also bin the files.
Oh, really? It's on the Sin side? Huh. Pershing Cat Chaffee, thank you for the $10 donation. I asked this before, but Corey was not here. How much money would have to be thrown at you to have you construct a Resurgent for Empire at War? Name a price for your morals. Should be an interesting question.
$975.
Wow, that's exactly the cost, like to the dollar, of the hot water heater I had to get installed tomorrow. So
I'm a very cold person, so...
What's going on here? But you're generally not in the business of selling models, right?
I'm not. I have refused commissions in the past, no matter how much my rent costs, which is... makes me sad sometimes, but that's the law.
Terry Smith also donated $1.99. He said smugglers / bounty hunter ships versus the Eclipse. So right now there are only there's only Imperial and New Republic ships in. It's not every ship either, is it? It's just like
a lot of
this is weird.
Yeah, we definitely need to move the Z layer for.
Yeah.
I guess it needs to be different, but.
And there's no way to auto resolve, so I guess you could just quit and start again. But they'll finish me pretty quickly, I think. Actually, yeah, let's just quit and start again.
Mission log updated.
So this also has the new, as you guys can see, the new what do you call them? The planets.
Low orbit maps.
Right. Moving clouds and stuff. Pretty cool. All right. So let's tell me a fleet, Corey. Give me like 5 ships.
5 nebulas.
Nebula Bs or Nebulons or Nebula. Okay.
Nebula.
That's this one, right? No, that's the Endurance.
Yeah.
In progress.
Oh wait, I'm looking at 10 seconds ago.
Upgrade complete.
You got a new Endurance model, didn't you?
Yeah, new Nebula, new Endurance, new ISD, VSD, Nebulon B, Corellian Corvette. We're basically making our way through most of the models.
All right, so 5
Quality.
5 of those. Let's add in a couple of Coronas. Coronas are new class, aren't they? I don't remember.
Yeah. They're new class Kraken's threat dossier garbage design.
Maybe a couple MC90s. That's quite a little task force there. Maybe 1 Endurance. I guess I should probably pause it while I'm deciding this, or else the ships will get too out of whack. Okay, and against that we'll put, let's do 2 Allegiances, a Secutor, maybe do 5 Strike Cruisers.
You do have to unpause while they're building.
Yeah.
So that's a big war.
Actually, we'll do a couple of victories. We'll put those 2 fleets head to head. Actually, I think we're gonna need more firepower. Let's give them normal ISD and a couple Venators. I don't know if this fleet can take it. We'll see.
The VSD models were actually just redone today.
Oh yeah, let's take a close look at those. Oh, I hate how you can't. Oh yeah, those look. They've got the. This thing is new, isn't it? Isn't that in what is it? Rebellion, Star Wars Rebellion. That's got a really prominent. What is it supposed to be? Like a.
I think it's like some
sensor
sort of
tower.
thingy.
Yeah. Sensor thingy. Yeah. Makes sense.
Star Wars. Everything's just a sensor thingy.
You can't move the vessels before you start, can you?
You can. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Star Destroyer standing.
That
Not
makes
when it's paused. But
yeah. Let's. That makes it a bit easier. Let's turn them around then.
To coordinates. Reporting in.
I do want to set the stations to invulnerable because I think that if I do that, it'll stop the
they're
AI
being
from sending their fighters
right
to guard it.
Right. That makes sense. So the Vigil isn't actually a canon ship, is it? Is that a Fractal Sponge design?
It was
Or
in,
is it?
Essential Guide to Warfare.
Oh, really?
It's definitely one of the Fractal designs that made it into.
Oh, I've been telling people it wasn't a canon ship. Oops. How embarrassing. And again, people, like, this is just a pretty, what do I mean by the claw? I mean, it's vaguely claw-shaped. The, thing coming out of the bridge here.
First identified visual class Corvette, Jason Fry's Tumblr account.
Order confirmed.
That's awesome. I've read through his entire. I think he's got like 13 or 14 posts about the Essential Guide to Warfare. They're all really good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So much of our release with the Warlords was done with references to that.
Okay, before I continue, let's just build myself a couple of
Upgrade in progress.
3 Lancers.
What camera angle did you put yourself? Jesus.
Oh, I don't know. I always go hog wild with the camera.
Upgrade complete.
Lots of frigate reporting.
Are you you're a New Republic guy, are you, Corey? More than Empire?
More than Empire.
Yeah. I love the Allegiance. Such a cool ship.
Luigi is saying he'd like to see the Asserter SSD in the game. Where actually, that's one of the models I'm making. Have been making for a while.
Oh yeah, you showed me the work in progress of that, didn't you?
I think so.
Yeah, it looks good. All right, so do you have a bets on this one?
On this,
Yeah.
pretty sure the Empire is going to take this.
Yeah,
one.
I might actually have to add
That
a
is
couple
Nebula.
more Nebulon Bs.
Yeah, that's going to be the secret to their
Upgrade
success.
in progress.
Okay. Maybe a Majestic.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade in progress.
Majestic is also a crack in design, isn't it? You can just...
Upgrade complete.
I feel like you can just tell.
Upgrade.
Might as well go crazy with
A
the
lot of the
ships.
new class
Upgrade
stuff,
complete.
Yeah.
like any newer New Republic thing, is like, hey, I'm going to get, I guess, 5-year-old to draw something bubbly for this. And
Yeah.
Suddenly canon.
Alright. Form up battle line, boys.
Yes, Commander.
Is that an Imp 1? Yeah.
Coming around.
What'd you think of the Episode 9 trailer, Corey?
Engaging the enemy. He's headed your direction.
I enjoyed it. I'm assuming the Rey stuff is going to be a vision.
Yeah.
I don't think she's actually going to be Dark Rey.
No way.
Narrowing position.
No, but
There's
it...
a link to the Asserter image for anyone who wanted to see.
Oh, nice.
He's coming around.
She does kind of have a similar look to Luke in Episode 8, like, or sorry, Vader Luke in Episode 8. When he gets his like helmet, when he gets his head cut off, and then his little faceplate pops open, or whatever. I forget how he kills him, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, the cave.
Yeah.
Awaiting your
I
command.
did like that Pong Krell's lightsaber is
Yeah.
coming back.
Your command, sir.
I completely forgot that the Senate guards in that they have a similar lightsaber too, or not? Sorry, the Jedi guards, like the council guards. I keep saying garbs.
Weapons online.
The Council Garbs.
Yeah.
A bunch of Garbel Iblis clones that have a lightsaber.
Yep. Funny enough, I did put 4 dreadnoughts in the thumbnail for this.
Squadron standing
Why am I
by.
pausing?
Ready for battle. Course set.
Ready to receive orders. Comlink active. Setting up my runs.
Roger that.
So the Allegiance has its buff now, right? Oh my god, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's no longer
Form up.
SSD armor type,
Attack.
so it should survive against bombers a lot better.
My fleet's half turned around.
Destroy.
Yeah, one of the things I also have to do is make the map a little bit smaller because apparently Empire War has some stricter limits on that than I thought. So you're actually, the New Republic fleet starts a bit outside what it thinks of as the map bounds.
Mm-hmm.
So by going directly to them, you'll usually get turned around a little bit.
Right.
Report.
That makes
We're
sense.
moving out. Open fire.
Dragon Snake. Where'd you get that name, Corey?
Engine system is down.
Sure, it does all the names. You probably told it
Oh, look at this
somewhere.
broadside. Yikes.
Cover me now.
Just gotta check something. Do I have good? I just want to make sure I have my graphics up all the way. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Nowhere to run.
Yeah, the new endurance model looks much better.
We actually made the old model before the Essential Guide to War.
Ah,
came out
yeah.
with the final designs for it.
Mhm.
So the fact that it was anywhere close to what it ended up being
Yeah, seriously.
was entirely just luck with my assumptions kind of being the same as Fractal.
Mhm.
You take the spires and put it on the nebula.
A little kinship between you and the godly modeler. Oh, forgot my... Seems like the starfighters are making the difference now. So, what are your thoughts on that big Star Destroyer fleet?
Let's finish him. We're being targeted. Nowhere to go.
Have we all come to a consensus on whether that's in like dry dock mode there? Or
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I don't think it was like... Some people are saying that it's like been purposefully or that it's like a junkyard. And I don't think that's the point. I think it's definitely supposed to be hidden away, you know.
We've lost the iron cannons. Awaiting your
Yeah,
command.
so unknown regions and
Yeah.
well, this is the biggest fleet we've ever seen in a Star Wars movie outside of Battle of Coruscant, maybe.
Yeah.
Nice that they acknowledge the Empire has more than 3 Star Destroyers.
Mhm. Kind of weird they're all ISD ones though. I guess that kind of indicates that they were put there
Stashed
before.
away before Yavin.
Yeah. Although that
Also
wreck.
the cannon underneath. is
Yeah. So do they not have a hangar bay? I wonder. Like, what's going on there?
Maybe more of like the shuttle bay situation.
Yeah,
like the
because I guess it's where like the forward bay is, right? Not the.
No, maybe it's between the hangar and the reactor, which wouldn't make that much sense, but
Yeah.
there may be some smaller hangars going on there.
Yeah. I always thought the supposed fact that the Empire changed all of their ISD ones to look like ISD 2s. Like the Devastator, for some reason they just changed the tower on it, and because why not? Like, I know you guys got money, but come on.
Fire at will.
Yeah, the New Republic dominated us here.
Engines are gone, sir.
Well, your other allegiance decided it didn't want to play.
Yeah, so did that
I think you
Sekiro.
gave them way more capital ships.
Yeah. I think I want to try some. I think I want to try some one-on-ones. I want to just put a Nebula versus a Star Destroyer and see how badly it trounces it.
Someone was asking when the mode's going to be released. It will be released in the next update for Imperial Civil War, which will be mid-September. We're going to put. I'm going home for the weekend to my hometown, and then when I come back, I'll figure out the exact day and I'll put that in game so people have, and they don't. Well, it'll still break their saves, and they won't read the warning, and then they'll still yell at me for it. But at least I can say I put it there.
Plausible deniability.
Upgrade in progress.
Okay.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete.
Gravity control generator.
What happens when you? What happens when the battle's over? I guess we'll see in a second. But does it just boot you out to the main menu or something, or does it just hang?
I don't think it actually ends right now because I have victory disabled.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Destroy
I
it.
thought it was causing a crash when it wasn't disabled, and then that turned out not to be the case. It was not assigning AI properly. That was most of my day figuring out how to make it work. Will it be possible to have ships come in at a timer as reinforcements? I don't think that's something I'm going to
That'd
be
be
able
cool,
to do.
but yeah.
It may be possible to keep some sort of structure there to build the ships at still, but then it could kind of get in the way of the fact that it's supposed to be more cinematic. So we'll see what ends up being feasible.
Yeah.
Move out.
How did you get the third-party battles to work? Is that? Oh, thank you for joining the member, becoming a member, grass person. By the way, appreciate that. Yeah, how did you get the like the raids to work in the mod?
Well, right now it's just a random spawn in the battle
Awaiting orders.
for another faction.
Yeah.
So it's not super complicated. There is still some stuff to apply AI properly.
Reporting. Right away.
But really it is just within the battle another script is running
Right.
to let it know who's there. Then there's a table of factions. It removes the ones that are actually fighting and picks stuff from the other factions to potentially spawn.
Right.
There's like a 15% chance for it. We do have some ideas on how to make it have more
Yeah.
galactic implications and take some more information from the galactic level. That's one of the biggest difficult things with Empire at War is communicating between the two game levels. It was a problem we had to solve for
Reporting in.
single unit retreat and boarding. So now that we have that worked out, it is something we can try to work in some other place.
It'll just be nice too when they spawn from different places. Like because it's brutal if you're an attacker and you're trapped, basically.
Yeah.
Dude, is my baby gonna be... Is my Nebula gonna lose here?
Yes, Commander.
It looked like it may.
I think it needs a buff, dude.
Awaiting orders.
I think you need to just get over the love affair and accept that it's not a perfect ship.
Okay, well... Listen. No.
Awaiting
That's
your
the entirety of my
If you were a
argument.
Resurgent, then yeah, it should be winning this handily. But
I'm glad you
One
guys
of the
are...
things that-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no.
I was gonna say, I'm glad people are enjoying the YouTube streams. This one is kind of a replacement for a video you guys are getting tomorrow on Warhammer, so... And I'm not planning on streaming as much as I have in the past
The missile
few
launcher
days,
is our
but
primary
yeah.
target.
Sorry, what were you saying, though?
Yeah, I was just gonna say one of the things that we're also going to be doing with the raid type battles is we put out a video recently showing the new like galactic influence mechanic and like allied vassal faction. So one of the things that you can occasionally have happen if you do have a vassal faction is you want to make it so that like if you're playing as the New Republic, you have the Hapens as your allies. Then potentially a Hapen fleet could show up and help you.
That'll just be a random thing, will it, or?
At first it'll be random. We do want to work in more like galactic factors to determine whether or not it can happen. Like especially we want to work out some sort of logic for determining what planet a battle is happening at and then what neighboring planets there are on the galactic map.
Yeah.
That would be like the dream.
It's probably so hard though because the game just like it just puts you in like a battlefield, like because they are like completely separate, right? Like you said. So.
Yeah. Like the way that Pox, our main Lewis scripter, actually figured out to pass the information back and forth, he basically turns a bunch of variables and code into a long string that he then he has a key in there to break it back down into code when you get in different variables when you get to the other game mode. So it's a really kind of hacky workaround, but like the big problem with getting the kind of information on like what's beside the planet on the galactic level and what units are there if you were to like pull in reinforcements during a battle from another planet is that there's no real indicator of when a battle is happening. Like you can't say, oh, the battle is starting, so let's pull all that information now.
Right, so you'd have to be
You kind of
constantly
have to
doing
keep a
it,
running file.
or...
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. I'm just gonna chalk this one up to superior tactics,
Nowhere to go.
I think.
Well, you are behind them, and that is...
And I blew his engine out as well. Have you guys ever thought about adding rotating turrets, or is that just too much for too little?
Rotating turrets are very CPU intensive, and the game is already so CPU gated that it's basically the biggest source of lag you can really get in tactical battles.
So it's just not really worth it for the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you have like individual ships that have dozens of them, like when you get to the Bellator, and it just looks weird if you have some have it and others not.
Right.
Like, the way weapons are calculated as it is, it's just one point that fires out a projectile.
Right.
If you make it a turret, it has to calculate which direction the turret is facing, figure out where its target is, how much it has to rotate, and then it has to constantly update to adjust for where it should be facing, and then it fires. So it's adding like 7 extra steps to a one-step process.
Right.
And that's really why a lot of people get lag.
Makes sense to me. I mean, plus you also have like in Remake, for example, sometimes if you destroy a hard point and the turret is still functioning, it's not super satisfying.
We've considered as like a sub-mod or some other future more limited thing having a mod that has that, but it would just be like, we wouldn't want to make that the necessary bar to entry for everyone. We try to make sure the mod can run decently well for everyone.
Rogue Leader asks, how will this mode affect your future videos? Well, it'd be cool if I could illustrate some stuff, like,
Upgrade
you
in
know,
progress.
And if I, because I mean, this mod is pretty much every Legend ship that sees any action for the New Republic or the Empire. So
Then when we add the Vong War, there'll be even more.
yeah, and they'll look terrible even if they're beautifully modeled. I'm just joking.
It's a giant space clam.
Yeah, seriously. Do you think MC90 can take on a Tector?
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade.
I'd assume so from the
complete.
fighters, at least.
Upgrade complete.
Gravity control generator destroyed.
I'm about to find out.
Reporting in.
Oh, right, yeah, Tector's got a 0, so that's gonna be a problem. Yikes. God, I love the E-Wing. Such a cool ship. Well, I mean, it's not that cool, but I don't know. Seeing a bunch of them flying like that makes me happy. It is a pretty basic sort of sci-fi ship design, but I don't know.
People always just toss it aside. It's not the X-Wing, so no one loves it.
Yeah.
Tries to replace the X-Wing for about a year, and then they come back.
A beautiful model. How come your Tector is an ISD-1?
You'd have to ask Bob.
Bob, what are you doing, bud? Well, I guess there's no reason it couldn't be.
Any plans to make it possible to mix and match ships? I've tried to think of some different ways to do that. It probably won't be something you can do immediately, but like there are a lot of engagements where the New Republic used
That was
ISDs or something. So that'd definitely be something I want to work in down the line. But we also want to do like specific historical battle setups too. So a lot of those people will hopefully be able to just load directly into.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it wouldn't be too hard to just add the ISD as a constructible ship, would it? Or like other specific examples, or would it?
Well, the big limitation is the build bar. Because I can technically put in like 83 different stations and then have everything for every faction be buildable.
Right.
But I'd rather have something a little bit cleaner than that.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been thinking about different ways to have a semi-scrollable situation there. And I have an idea, I'm just not sure if it'll...
Can you do the tabs?
No, the tabs wouldn't work in a tactical battle.
Right. What about like buildable upgrades or something? Like free... I guess that would still... You're still limited by the build bar, I guess.
Yeah, so the thing with the upgrades, if you make them a prerequisite, then you build the one and it's always there.
Right.
I need to figure out if I can actually find and destroy that with a script so that you just sort of cycle through tab. And I'm just not sure if it'll be able to do that.
Yeah. Because you'd basically be like unbuilding it, right? Or like destroying it, I guess.
Because if the ship is looking for that prerequisite and it's not there, then it won't show up. And then if we can just get rid of that prerequisite and cycle through them that way, then perfect. But
any changes to ground battles coming?
yeah, we're actually 2.3 started a ground re kind of in the middle of. Right now it's mostly just like unit balancing that we're trying to do, but we do want to do a bunch of mechanical changes, like change the way ground battles flow and what you're actually doing.
And how would you change the flow? Like, what in your mind would make ground battles more tolerable, or even fun?
Well, one thing is just trying to make it so that there's some more clear objectives in the mode, rather than just you start off with some units and you mash them against each other, and then the ground battle is either over, and then you start looking for a couple.
That's the
that are
worst
failing
part.
around.
Yeah.
And ideally, we just have some sort of like capture and hold dislocation situation, and have some different ways of getting units into the battle. We want to emphasize infantry holding locations a bit more, rather than it just being like stuff is only viable if it can destroy the biggest enemy vehicle.
Is there a way to to remove the AI handicap so you can just auto-resolve them?
Star Destroyer standing
Like, or sorry, the not the AI handicap, the auto-resolve, like, in unfairness, like the bias against the player
Oh.
when they auto-resolve?
No.
No?
Unfortunately, it can't change the baseline logic of auto-resolve. All we can do is change the auto-resolve values for the individual units. And obviously, if like you skew it one way for the player, then if they go and play the other faction, then it's not gonna work
Right.
well.
Yeah, that makes sense. So guys, it helps out on the stream if you drop a like, if you are liking it, if you are enjoying it. If not, what are you doing?
If you don't like it, then dislike. Oh, the dislikes went down.
Ooh. Do the ships have animation besides for the engines?
Really, the only common space animations would be like Death Clone. Because the ship models were mostly just redone, they're not in yet. That is something that we're still going to be working on. But there's very few other cases where animations have a clear function in space.
Right.
But like you can use them for like deploy animations if there's a specific ability you need for it, but just for moving around, there's not much that needs to be animated.
Yeah, that makes sense. Have you guys ever thought about modeling? Like I know you kind of do it with the Empire of the Hand, but other ships that don't have official, like images, like the, I know it's like out of the time frame, but like the Blue Diver, for example, or the Megador.
Yeah, actually, last year Valerie joined the team, and she's a concept artist for us. So she's been going through and making some concepts. She's done a lot of Hapen stuff so far, including the Beta class cruiser, which never got an official depiction. And I did a video modeling that pretty recently.
Yeah, I saw that actually.
So a bunch of Hapen stuff. She loves the Hapens. There's a couple new Empire of the Hand ships coming. She did a design for the Trident, I think it.
Oh really?
I should.
Upgrade in progress.
I
like to see
always
that.
know it and then
Upgrade
I forget
complete.
it. But yeah. So I think it is. Yeah, it is the Trident.
What does she have it looking like? Big
Sorry?
long. What does she have the Trident looking like?
There's a link in the chat for them.
Oh, let me see.
No.
Oh, cool. I like that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff like that. She did a design for the Cossack, which is the little hut anti-fighter ship that we posted a little while ago.
Upgrade in
So there's a lot
progress.
of stuff like that where we want to flesh out some of the lesser known or lesser fleshed out
Upgrade in
factions a
progress.
bit more. So see Ruby stuff, Haven stuff, Chiss stuff.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete. Upgrade in progress.
Would you guys ever do like Galactic Alliance stuff, or is that? I mean, with the Vong
Upgrade
war coming,
complete.
I wonder.
Yeah. Basically, the way we want to handle the Vong is we'd start off making just the Vong faction and have that be worked into mechanics in Imperial Civil War, while we slowly build up a catalog of other stuff, and then we'd be able to transition that into its own mod about like the end of the Vong War, Dark Nest Crisis,
Ooh, yes.
Legacy Era, or like the
Upgrade
Legacy
in
of the Force stuff,
progress.
not late
Right.
Legacy Era.
You know I love Dark
Upgrade
Nest, Corey.
Complete.
There's gonna be bugs everywhere.
Upgrade complete.
People are getting on the line.
Upgrade.
I just can't wait to have a Zek hero.
That glorious hair.
Yep.
That painting.
Oh my
of
God.
the Skywalker solo family.
Dude, I saw
Looking at-
somebody post that on Reddit, and I was like, this picture is actually pretty terrible though. Like if you look at it, and I got flamed pretty hard.
We were convinced that was Jaina. That was right. Like Zek was Jaina.
Oh yeah. Because Jaina and Leia look pretty similar.
Yeah, because we thought Jaina was Leia, Zek was Jaina, Jason was a 14-year-old emo kid,
no, that's right.
well into his 30s.
That part's right.
Anakin was that corpse in the corner.
Anakin was the, sense of sadness that Leia carries with her at all times.
He's headed your direction.
I made this fleet too strong. I don't think.
Awaiting your orders. Yes, Commander. Enemies in range.
Should have given them more ships.
I don't know. You're sending your ships in one at a time, so
Yeah, true.
maybe they'll kill them.
I'll use the AI strategy. I got a donation to me, but it's a question for Corey, so that's awesome.
You can PayPal me later. Don't worry, buddy.
Cool.
Awaiting your
Starmax says, "Hello, Corey. Will you be adding in the Onager? If yes, how would you handle it? Railgun sniping capabilities." I can answer this one.
firing.
Go for it.
No, he won't be adding it because it's a Legends mod. And I imagine if you were, you'd just handle it like the Peltast, right?
Your command, sir.
Correct.
I mean, the Peltast is
Correct.
basically Peltast is it's kind of a similar idea, really.
Yeah, like nothing has made me want to do some sort of new canon set of stuff than the Starhawk. I love the Starhawk. I like a lot of the Resistance ships actually, but right now it's nothing against new canon. It's just it is a Legends mod.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of stuff we can work off of that rather than trying to cross the streams.
I'd love to see. Yeah, I get that. It makes sense. I would love to see the Resurgent duke it out with or even just fight alongside ISDs because Lord knows we're not getting any proper game like this anytime soon.
Well, Petroglyph has been trying to make Empire War 2 for like 10 years now. Maybe
Yeah.
someday. I am pretty sure a big part of why they're doing the CNC remasters, other than the fact that they were otherwise probably never going to make any money, is so that they can get that relationship with EA and potentially do some other Empire War stuff. But
Roger that.
Literally every time I go to EA events, I make a comment about it, so I like to think that I'm helping too. Should probably protected my Dreadnought.
Our lasers are down.
Form up.
Reporting.
so like we'll finish Fall of the Republic and Imperial Civil War, and then Legends of the Vong War and Ascendancy. Then we've just
Primary
got
target is those iron cannons.
Kylo's Revenge and Revenge to do.
Kylo's Revenge. Beautiful. Oh god, look at these
I have the target
Oh,
in
God.
sight.
Yeah, definitely a noticeable. I think the way you've got fighting or bombing works pretty well now. Like, it would be nice if there was some way in the game to kind of replicate like different shield emitters or whatever, but don't think it's possible.
Where'd he go? Nowhere.
Under control.
Well, the way we kind of want to simulate particle shields is having them penetrate the shields as they are, but then having the I don't know if you've played the base game enough.
No.
With there's an ability for like laser point defense,
Oh yeah.
and we kind of use that to simulate ray shields,
Right.
or particle shields, where
So it'd be like a
each ship can
percentage
stop
of-
a certain number of
Oh, I like that.
physical projectiles. So if you have like an SSD and you're just hitting it with 4 or 5 squadrons of bombers, you're not going to do anything until those are down.
Right.
But if you have a Corvette, it's only going to stop like 3 or 4 proton torpedoes.
That would be cool. I've seen some pretty convincing arguments that particle shields don't actually exist in the Star Wars movies. Because like, is there any evidence of them actually existing?
Destroyer reporting in.
Target locked.
Well, it seems to just be whatever
Fire on the
the
engine.
plot requires anything to destroy,
Yeah.
it can destroy.
But like,
So
people fly through shields all the time, you know, like they shouldn't be able to do that.
Not in episode 3.
Awaiting.
Yeah, because the
have
shields of
invisible
the invisible hand are still up and they land on it.
No, he says, "Have you noticed the shields are still up?" And
Yeah, but that's the
Anakin-
shields for the hangar, though, isn't it? Because
Yeah, but they're still physical projectiles. If you classify Obi-Wan and Anakin as physical projectiles.
well,
and
no,
they're
but
worried about being
I'm
able
saying
to
I think the
penetrate
hangar shields are different than
Awaiting.
the hangar shields. I think are different than like the implied shields that are supposed to be around Star Wars ships. But I guess the only other, I guess the best argument I think is in Return of the Jedi when they pull off so quickly from the Death Star when they realize the shields are still up, and I guess the implication is if they don't, they'll be destroyed.
Well, some of the movie stuff seems to combine the ideas that are behind ray and particle shields, and then that split was just to justify that they are different things, and that you do sometimes see stuff go through and sometimes not.
Yeah.
'Cause you do get like Qui-Gon, Darth Maul, and Obi-Wan standing there waiting for shields to come down, and then you have them standing in the hallway in Episode 3, surrounded by ray shields, and then
Yeah, there's not many cases like in space combat where you actually see the shields. You see them a bit in The Last Jedi. You see them in Attack of the Clones, actually, when Obi-Wan and Jango are fighting. You can see Jango's shots hitting off a shield, and in you see them turn on in Phantom Menace, I guess, as well.
well, you also have to take into account what was introduced in Wraith Squadron, where it apparently cost like millions of credits to have your shields on for 10 seconds.
Yeah, they never have their shields on.
Even if you know you're going into battle.
Yeah. Yeah, like, they're gonna sneak up on us. Oh, they've got a turret here, what a surprise. Too bad our shields aren't up, because we're gonna lose a pilot. By the way, guys...
Guess we're gonna lose our bridge crew.
Yeah, everybody. We should have mentioned this at the beginning, but Corey and I do... Corey's the other host for the Legends podcast that we have. So if you think...
host the cozy portions of it.
Aye. But yeah, so what are we doing? What are we doing next again? Yeah, Iron Fist, right? I haven't started, so
I'm gonna read it on the train, I think.
Ooh, that's a good call. I had Wraith Squadron. I had an actual physical copy of it here, but I didn't read it. I stuck with my Kindle version. I'm kind of disappointed.
I was telling you I went to a bunch of used bookstores in Ottawa and basically bought up every Star Wars book I could find.
Yeah.
So I got copies of Iron Fist and Solo Command doing that, but I'm pretty sure someone sneezed in them.
Oh, really? Like, are they actually like gross?
There was one page that seemed to have something on it. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do a closer.
You better hope somebody sneezed in it. The writing in Wraith Squadron, bud. No, if it were one of the prior 4 X-Wing books, you'd have to be worried. But with Stackpole's steamy writing,
the pages about Churtle were just.
Oh, the fur. How did you remember her name, first of all?
Hey, this isn't about.
Let's talk, Corey. No, let's talk about that.
Hey, whose profile picture is a dog wearing clothes?
Yeah, okay.
Close for now.
Close.
When the videos turn off, I don't know what goes on.
Oh yeah, in this one stream, I already had somebody ask me if I'm a furry. So.
Just this one stream?
Well, yeah. Oh, you know what I did, by the way? I sent you my used book haul. I bought 2 copies of the friggin' Tyrant's Test.
That's like the worst.
One of the yeah. I'm doing pretty well though. Here, I'll read to you my haul from my last 2 times. I got Wraith Squadron, Splinter of the Mind's Eye, the 3 Thrawn books in beautiful condition, Jedi Search, Planet of Twilight, Before the Storm, Tyrant's Test ×2, Showdown at Centerpoint, Assault on Salonia. What's the other one? I have it just in somewhere else. The other Corellian Trilogy one.
The first one?
Yeah.
It's not the Paradise Snare.
Regardless, I've got the other one. I've got Vector Prime, Unifying Force, Edge of Victory 1 and 2, Final Prophecy, Rebel Stand. Oh wait, isn't Rebel Stand? Isn't that Edge of Victory? Or that's Enemy Lines, right?
Enemy Lines.
Dark Tide 1 and 2, the 3 Swarm War books, and then Invincible, Fury, and Revelation, Legacy of the Force.
Nice.
And that was like, I got those all for probably like $70, so I'm pretty pleased.
We're being targeted.
Losing power.
I also meant to tell you, I'm on the final book of Fate of the Jedi, so I'm almost through.
Your whole Legends reread?
Yep. Almost through. I'm actually kind of enjoying. Fate of the Jedi has been really up and down. Like parts of it are just total shit. Parts of it are pretty good. And in the end, it's pretty fun. Jaina's got some cool fight scenes in it.
A lot of stuff for Fate of the Jedi and Legacy of the Force, I kind of gets mixed up for me.
Yeah.
I just started Vector Prime a little while ago, because I'm gonna redo NJO all the way through Fate of the Jedi.
Ugh.
Quite as
So long, dude. It's gonna take you a year. Because we're also doing our reading club, so.
Our target priority is the laser gun. Keep going.
Free Ice Cream is asking, I love TapCaf transmissions. Is there a Patreon for it, or should I give to a particular one? Want to keep it going for a long time? Just pick whichever one of us you like the most, and then give me the money.
You should give it to Corey because I've been a bit neglectful with my Patreon, so give it to Corey.
This way.
Or give each person half if then you really want.
Heading for a
No, we don't have a Patreon though. I mean, we haven't even really talked about monetizing. I don't think we've ever talked about it. I mean,
I just assumed you were monetizing it and weren't giving me anything, but
well, you've discovered my ploy. But no, maybe at some point like we'll do something, but I don't think we have anything planned right
live
now.
show next Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah.
Troy did.
Dude, we could probably, I guarantee we've got way more, not to, get big nutted about it, but I guarantee we've got enough viewers to make it on the stage.
We just need to stage one of those videos like, who's that guy from the other podcast?
Oh,
about Galaxy's Head?
yeah. What's his name again?
Christian
Harlan, or whatever. Harloff. Christian Harloff. I'm busting my ass.
Mission log updated.
Like as if it's not his full-time job. Let's put a bunch of Venators. Corey, do you have a matchup you'd like to see?
I'd suggest maybe some Fall of the Republic.
Some Fall of the Republic ships?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do some Venators.
Well, you could also just go into Fall of the Republic.
Okay, you gotta teach me how to do that.
Maybe some Veners and VSD, just for this one then. Some Veners and VSDs.
I mean, I can do it right now. If it's easy enough to do, I'll just do it right now. Okay, let's do it. I'll just quit the game. Okay. Do I have to full out exit the game?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now what?
So go to the mods folder
Mm-hmm.
and into the data folder.
Okay.
There should be two batch files, one called ICW to
okay.
FOTR and one. So double click on ICW to FOTR.
Okay. And it's done?
And then, yeah, then you can just go back in game.
Cool. I don't have to change the Steam launch options or anything?
Nope.
Cool.
It's all in one.
Wow. That's neat. Very neat. So you want to talk about this mod, Corey? Look at that beautiful...
No, I'd rather not.
That's quite a beautiful splash screen.
So this is going to be our Clone Wars mod coming up in a second. It is not out yet, so everything you're going to see is fairly work in progress still, but we're getting close. There's only a few units we need to add. Then there's going to be a lot of story scripting we still need to do. But yeah, it is hopefully going to be in beta in the next couple months, but...
Or you can just be a special boy like me.
Upgrade in progress.
Ever thought about that, people?
Upgrade in progress.
I only have enough room in my life for
One special
so
boy?
many internet
Upgrade
friends.
in progress.
I don't need my DMs filled with people asking for Father.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Don't do that, people.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete.
Need some Venators for scale.
Complete.
Starts a Clone Wars
Upgrade
mod,
in
immediately
progress.
builds bulwarks. No one wants that.
Upgrade complete.
I held a Praetor as well.
Complete. Upgrade complete.
God, those things are thick as hell, man. Look at those things. There's some thick ass ships. Why would they ever have them? What are they? The engines attached like that? I don't know.
They're basically like smaller versions of the
Upgrade
ship
in
attached to the
progress.
ship.
Yeah.
Upgrade in progress.
Is it?
Upgrade
I forget. Where's the appearance of the bulwark? Is it in the Invasions comic?
Yeah, they're in Invasions.
Upgrade in progress.
I forget where the Victory Fleet and
Upgrade
Bulwark Fleet are
complete.
introduced in the Clone Wars.
Upgrade complete.
Oh, they're actually pictured in a Clone Wars comic?
Upgrade in progress.
Well, they're in Clone Wars materials. That's where they came from.
Yeah.
I don't know what the actual depictions are from anywhere other than Invasion. And, well, and
Complete.
Rebellion.
Right.
sometimes.
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade in progress. Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete.
Do the CIS a few more ships.
Upgrade in progress.
What's this blank one? Oh.
Upgrade complete.
That's
Upgrade
the
Kolovex?
like the
Upgrade
Separatist cruiser, the
complete.
Geonosian cruiser. That's in
Upgrade complete.
Republic Commando and what other
Upgrade
game is that in? Is it in Force Unleashed? Or
Yeah,
something?
Force Unleashed, I think. Kind of weirdly.
Upgrade in progress.
I think it's the Force Unleashed.
Upgrade complete.
Can't you actually see it in
Upgrade.
Revenge of the Sith too, or am I imagining that?
No, it's not in Revenge of the Sith. Well, we were talking about.
Upgrade
I
in
think
progress.
it was you I was talking to about the
Upgrade.
some of the
complete.
ships in.
Upgrade complete.
I think it's one of the amusement park ride things.
Oh,
There's some
yeah,
ships
yeah, yeah.
there. They look almost like big Sheathopedes
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, and for Star Tours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Star Tours this summer, and I was really hoping to get the Battle of Coruscant one. But it was actually really fun. Star Tours was better, in my opinion, than the Millennium Falcon ride.
I haven't done any of them.
Alright, let's start the battle.
Enemy control generator destroyed.
Do you have predictions for this?
I didn't see everything in the CIS fleet.
It's big.
It was not-
2 bulwarks, like,
Oh yes, yes, has this.
yeah. I wasn't sure how much. Let's hold everything back except for the.
Well, right now the Veners are a little bit underpowered and the Recusants a little bit overpowered.
Okay.
That doesn't help.
Oh, what a surprise.
It just happened that way. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Probably should have given myself some Corvettes.
No. It's not like the CIS spams fighters.
Tormentor. And I wasn't sure how powerful the Praetor would be.
Praetor's pretty powerful, but it's like still kind of limited by Rusan Reformation
Right.
stuff.
Are you gonna make a Praetor 1? Like a slightly different one?
Well, that's actually the Praetor 1 right there.
Oh, okay.
It's slightly different from the Praetor 2. If you look at it, it's got like a kind of a skinnier superstructure, not quite as powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Is it small? It's smaller too, isn't it?
It's a little bit smaller, yeah. I think it's like
80% or
200 meters, and then or 4,000 meters, and the Praetor 2 is 48.
Oh god, my fighters are gonna get ripped apart.
Course set.
It does work best if you keep them up front alone like that. That is the best way to use them.
Listen, Corey, shut up.
Another attack.
I'm just getting picked off. I probably should have built 2 of these Praetors, and it would have been a fair fight. You should, are you gonna like start, like when you start a campaign, is like the Praetor at Quat?
Yeah.
Cool. You should have to like bribe Kuat to get access to her ships.
Well, we kind of want to put in for, rather than just having people build ISDs towards the end, we're kind of putting in with planet influence and some other story elements. You're just kind of getting the contracts with KDY, and then you'll start getting more of
Right.
like the ISDs, secular type stuff. So you will be able to do something like that.
Command.
Cool.
Armed and ready.
Heavy cruiser stepping by.
Mandator will be coming. We do need to do a design for it though, because it
Just
does
take
not
the
have-
Bellator and just make her squatter.
Yeah.
Stretch her out. Yeah, I'm getting crushed. Is the Invincible trash?
The Invincible is good, but it's more assault concussion missile based, so it does a lot of damage at once and then kind of stops for a while. Goes and takes a lunch break.
You gonna add the Maelstrom in?
Yep. Just need to make a design for that too.
Bro, I already made a design for that ship. What do you mean? You didn't see my video on it?
We'll consider that.
Did you actually see it though?
I did see that.
I think I kind of got it right. Like,
Did you make that model or did?
no, it's not a model.
Yeah,
It's
probably
just
got
it's just like an outline.
Wasn't there a render you did?
No, it's not a render. It's just Oh no, yeah, I did do. I forgot for my size comparison. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't model it myself, but I designed the model.
Right.
That's what I took crank delta wing to mean.
I think we're going more like skinny needle.
Oh, okay, that makes sense too. With like
There's
Venator
some
style
specific-
bridge.
Yeah, there's some specific interpretation of the Delta wing thing we came to, and I forget what it is right now, so I'm gonna have to like dig through Discord again. But I'm sure if Nolan is still watching, he'll message me afterwards with it.
Yeah.
Mission log updated.
Thank you very much for the $2 donation, Grass. What's your favorite Star Destroyer class? I think I like the Allegiance. Well, the Nebula, but the Allegiance probably for Imperial Star Destroyers. Corey?
I like the Precursor a lot, actually.
Yeah, that's a cool one too.
Upgrade complete.
I like the way Fractal
Upgrade
designed that. He
complete.
basically just took the Bellator, grabbed a bunch of
Upgrade
pieces from it,
complete.
and tried to see if we could make a ship out of just that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is one of the issues that the mode currently has with the fixed spawns, is that if you spawn a bunch of big ships, they'll go in the same place.
Yeah.
Once I make it so that you can set the
Upgrade
spawn
in
point, you'll be able to get
progress.
around that and have like 10 executors if you
Upgrade
want. But
complete.
for now, that is still a bug.
Well, I mean, they'll split up though. Like, it's not a big deal.
Upgrade
Yours will.
complete.
If you do it with a bunch of SSDs,
Upgrade in
actually,
progress.
Oh, they get stuck
tend
to
to
it.
get completely stuck inside.
Upgrade
I think you can put in an Eclipse, an Executor, and a Bellator, and it'll be alright if they're
Different.
on different Z layers. But
upgrade
Mhm.
complete.
Good Canadian kid. Z layers. I love it.
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade in progress. Upgrade.
This isn't enough ships to cause my computer trouble, is it?
Upgrade complete.
no, you should be okay.
Upgrade in progress.
Unless you plan on giving the enemy a fleet. And then
Upgrade
maybe.
complete. Upgrade complete.
We'll see.
There's not currently structures in
Upgrade
this mode,
complete.
but there are
Upgrade
structures in
progress.
the mod as a whole.
Upgrade complete.
A little task
Upgrade
force we have here.
complete. Upgrade complete.
That Architens, I love that
Upgrade
ship.
in progress. Upgrade.
Yeah, that's another one that's probably going to get a model update sooner
Upgrade
than later.
complete. Upgrade complete.
I guess one of the challenges with like a mod like this is keeping it. What's this third acclimator here? Oh, carrier. Okay, keeping it sort of like interesting with the same ships, you know, because like in Thrawn's Revenge, you're always kind of getting new vessels, which keeps it
Upgrade
fun.
in progress.
Um,
Upgrade.
how do you
Yeah,
think?
the size of
Upgrade.
the amount of ships we
complete.
have to work with has a lot smaller. It does
Upgrade
mean that it's
complete.
easier to make some systematic changes in
Upgrade complete.
right now, but there are some other options we have to
Upgrade
flesh them
in
out a bit more.
progress.
Mhm.
So that'll be stuff that we
Upgrade
add
complete.
as we go, but obviously
Upgrade complete.
after this point it gets more and more obscure.
Right.
Upgrade
Everyone knows what a
complete.
Providence is and a Venator is, but then you get into like
Upgrade complete.
Fantail Destroyer
Mhm.
and
Upgrade
all that
complete.
stuff, or even
Upgrade in
Maelstrom or
progress.
anything that Maelstrom which doesn't have a design, then We're getting a lot more stuff that people don't recognize.
Don't they? I'm pretty sure. So I was reading the part in I forget which Fate of the Jedi book it is. Anyway, where Dala goes to the Moth Fleet, and they treat the Venator Star Destroyer as different than. Okay, so not the Republic, because you know sometimes they talk about the Republic Star Destroyer, like the one from the New Republic era. But the scene talks about like an old Republic era ship called the Republic Star Destroyer, the Republic Cruiser or something. That's not the Venator, because they also talk about the Venator. So
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's weird.
I'll Control F my way through Fate of the Jedi later.
Upgrade complete.
Lane says, "Don't get any money I can throw. I've been watching the stream, and me and my friend were starting to get confused with Umbara." What do you mean? Do you think I need more CIS ships here? Probably. Oh yeah, I've got 3 dreadnoughts, right?
There are a few Lucre Hulks there. They have the stacking issue too, so they've got
Upgrade complete.
Oh yeah, that's right.
maybe a couple munitions.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete.
One of the problems with that right now is I'm not sure if the AI will be able to move those.
Oh, okay.
Upgrade.
We'll see.
Complete.
Gravity control generator destroyed.
See if my computer can handle this.
Yeah, you should just make a poll on which ships you should use, but make sure to read all the
Eliminating
options.
target. Coming back around for another one.
Getting a lock.
Another one down. I love the consular. Or wait, this isn't the consular. It's the yeah. Is it? Wait, is it the this is the consular, isn't it? This ship. Yeah.
LAC is the converted consular. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a Charger C7,
Right.
which we don't have in yet, but will be coming soon.
With those, it's kind of like you.
Waiting command.
It's like, is it really worth having another Corvette that's like basically CR90?
Well, they do have some different loadouts. So I think the Charger C70 is more missile based.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
There's a lot of those smaller ship variants that were more common before the war, and planetary defense forces like that are going to be one of the ways that stuff gets fleshed out a bit more. So all the older stuff.
Did the Habens use battle dragons as far back as the Clone Wars? I assume so.
Yeah, I think the battle dragons and the Novas, like every Haven ship we hear of was probably used pretty early, because they're talking about how outdated they are.
Right.
And
Target locked.
Oh, did I lose you?
no, I just don't like to finish sentences.
Okay.
But yeah, in like core ship, they're talking about how outdated it is, and that's pretty not that long after Endor.
I'm on them.
Yeah, I think these ships might be bugged, maybe.
I've got them in my sights.
Yeah, I think it's their position on the map.
Yeah.
So that'll probably be something I do before the first release that everyone else.
I mean, it's kind of beautiful though in a way, isn't it?
The Looper Hulk.
The Uber Hulk.
Corey, when does your NRLP start? As soon as my Republic playthrough ends.
Eliminating.
Yeah, I've got a New Republic playthrough going on right now too. I just love stealing ships. It's so fun. I love how we're just steamrolling through these separatist buggers.
If the Providence were focusing your freighters, then they'd be doing a lot better.
I would prefer just to fly around the battle and look at things, if that's cool.
Formation. Reporting in.
I don't have to worry about them doing that, so I'm happy they're not.
Primary engine system is down. What are your orders? Attack formation. Back around for another. Excellent shot.
Kind of looks like what you'd see from the other side of a toilet seat. Like, the toilet side. Just saying.
I tend not to think too much about what's going on the other side of toilet seats, but hey,
Now you have. Yeah.
you do you, buddy.
Well, whatever.
Is Fall of the Republic going to be an expansion of Thrawn's Revenge mod or separate? So it'll be a mod you download separately. It'll be its own standalone thing.
Enemies in range.
I didn't know that actually.
Destroyed.
Yeah, we're building them together just because it's easier that way.
Yeah.
But once it's actually released, rather than making people fiddle with files, it'll be its own thing.
Getting a lock.
And then we'll get to be on the front page of the Steam Workshop again. So
Star cruiser standing by.
Beautiful. Do you think when you eventually get into the legacy stuff, is that going to be just a continuation of Thrawn's Revenge, or?
well, at first it would be just more content for Imperial Civil War.
Yeah.
But after that, if we get enough stuff done, it'd be broken off into its own thing with like more era-appropriate factions, like Galactic Alliance and all that.
Right.
The biggest limiting factor in Empire War is that factions are limited, and we've used all the slots in Imperial Civil War already.
Oh, okay.
Well, including some stuff that we're adding in a bit, but there's no more room to add other groups for that.
Have you thought about giving ships more active abilities so you can like micromanage the battle a bit more? Even just
Yeah,
like the fire all cannons or whatever.
Well, we're trying to make abilities that are a bit more involved and that are a bit more interesting than just having every ship have power to weapons, power to engines. Power to...
Yeah.
Like the boarding ability that we came up with, the single unit retreat ability.
Yeah.
Micro jumps that only one ship in the mod have, but it's going to get.
Who has
thrown around a
micro
bit
jumps
more.
right now?
One of the Empire of the Hand Corvettes.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, so we want to do more abilities, but we also want to make sure that the abilities are kind of
Compelling.
worth having rather than just like power to weapons, power to different weapons, and super weapon firer. So
That makes sense. Think you'll ever get the RAM thing worked out?
I don't like the way that like there is a way that other mods have done it, but it's
Messy.
kind of wonk.
Yeah.
Where the big thing is you can't get ships moving between different Z layers and
Oh, gotcha.
targeting. So what they tend to do is have an ability that just makes it like an animation where the ship goes in a big circle and just ends up back where it was. And it just, if you try to do that with a ship of any, like it looks weird enough with smaller ships.
Yeah.
But if you try to do it with a ship of any reasonable size, and like it doesn't damage itself when it does it, it's just a hard point on the ship that has a very, very low range and very high
That's what I
damage.
figured, yeah.
If it happens to fly through something, then it does that damage with the ability active. But with other stuff, like you can't tell a ship that's on a higher level to like fly into something on a lower level.
I see.
Target lock.
They can't switch between Z layers at all?
The only ones that can do that are
Fighters,
fighters.
yeah,
and
okay.
You can apply the fighter locomotor to every ship if you want, but that has a lot of bugs associated with it, and you can't switch back and forth between different locomotors.
Gotcha.
Like you'd have ships that like
So it's basically using...
fly at something
Yeah.
and stop.
Right.
Because they still want to prevent collisions. As bad as Empire at War is at collision detection, so it wouldn't willingly fly into something either.
Dominic, thank you for the donation, by the way. Appreciate it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Commander, they're hitting us.
Yeah, not willingly flying into something kind of breaks the purpose of kamikaze or ram. I mean, it's not a super popular tactic or common tactic in Star Wars anyway.
Reporting. Enemies in range.
Apparently, people who play the game just don't value the lives of their troops quite as much.
Yeah.
So
Honestly, I take a couple of minutes for every ship I lose after my streams end.
you just write letters home
Yeah.
to all the families of the crew members.
Yeah. Which for like a Praetor, that takes a while.
Just gotta outsource that. Get Charlie to do it. You can't risk carpal tunnel.
No, God no. I got script stripe, baby. That's-
Kindle's the whole nut.
That's my money hand.
Are our target. Back around for another run.
Oh, now the fighters got aggroed. They must be told. They must stay close to their carrier ship, I guess.
Yeah, those ones in particular. So
God.
with fighter logic, a lot of the ship's logic, it's like if there's something within a certain range, or if there's something that's engaged within a certain range, they'll kind of daisy chain their way towards.
Right.
We still need to refine that a bit more, but we also don't want to make it too complicated, or else you have a bunch of stuff making a bunch of calculations, and then you get even more lag.
Yeah.
Nowhere to run.
But considering you're on a laptop, I'm surprised.
Told you it's
it was
pretty
as smooth
beefy,
as it
man.
was.
Weird too how these Gazantis didn't move either. I guess they kind of must have similar. They must just protect something.
Yeah, they're Corvettes that use the fighter locomotor too, so maybe
okay.
something to do with the way the map is situated, because
Yeah.
it is slightly outside when it thinks is the playable area.
Right.
Target locked. Eliminating target.
Right.
Intercepting.
I do get sad. Like that's what I love about the New Republic playthroughs. Like when you've captured like an ISD or something weird. Like I've got a torpedo sphere in one of my fleets, and even though it's like not the most useful thing ever right now, like if I lose it, I'm gonna be disappointed just because it's like
Yeah, it's
brought on
unique,
has a
identifiable.
personality. Yeah.
You can remember that this is the one that was
Yeah.
over there doing that thing,
Yeah. Exactly.
and like a montage plays in your mind, with, like raising it as a puppy.
Oh, a little baby torpedo sphere. What would that be? Like a what would be a baby torpedo sphere?
Like just a grenade, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. The grenade. Alright, well, I think this one's basically decided. Let's do a couple more.
The subjugator model is done, but the texture, or almost done, but the texture isn't yet. That'll be in game soon.
Is the super weapon gonna work?
The ion cannon thing, yeah.
Yeah. Is there any way to make it hit, like, can you have it, like, directionally based instead of just a single target? Or, like, so that other targets in the vicinity will be injured?
I'm not sure if we'll be able to do that,
Upgrade in progress.
because the weapons aren't that sophisticated. Usually it'd just
Complete.
collide with the first thing and stop.
Yeah.
But
Complete.
I'm gonna try to think of a way to do it that isn't
Upgrade
terrible.
complete.
Dominic says, what are the
Upgrade
specs of your
complete.
computer's Corey and I just recently got
Upgrade.
I bought a
complete.
2070
Upgrade
Super for my
complete.
PC, and it's killing it now.
Upgrade
But
complete.
before that, I was running on like a 1060 graphics card, and I'm actually on my laptop, which has a 1060, and I forget what the CPU and an SSD, and I think it's got RAM too. I've heard, I've been told.
Upgrade in progress.
Oh, your
Upgrade
computer has
in
RAM?
progress.
I believe it's got a RAM, yes.
Upgrade in progress.
But like, how many
Complete.
RGB LEDs do you have?
I actually thought I was wrong because I told you, because it does come down, as I said, to how many gaming words you say per minute,
Complete.
and whether you have an RGB keyboard.
Upgrade.
That determines largely speed. I do have an RGB keyboard, but it's only red. I thought I could change
In
colors.
progress.
So just an R keyboard.
Right. I don't think there's any way to change it.
That's,
Upgrade.
so
complete.
basically what you're saying is you lied to me.
Upgrade.
You
Yeah,
just lied straight
I did
to
on
my
purpose.
face.
Yeah.
Upgrade complete.
I don't know if I can
Upgrade
stay
in
on the stream
progress.
anymore.
I feel like there's got to be some way.
Now there's gonna be someone in the chat that says like thank God, but
Upgrade.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Keemstar is gonna be covering this.
Upgrade in progress.
well I don't know if we're
Upgrade
there yet.
Complete.
Yeah, where
Is
do you
our-
download RAM
is
from
our-
again?
Like it's our joint
Upgrade
YouTube goal
complete.
for TapCap transmissions to get to the point
Upgrade
where
in progress.
we have some sort of argument and Keemstar covers it.
Upgrade complete.
But would we make the actual
Upgrade
channel, or
complete.
would we be part of his weird paid
Upgrade complete.
early notification drama service?
Upgrade.
Oh, we'd be early notification drama service that only 3% of people are interested in.
Complete.
3% of people,
Complete.
3% of like tens of thousands of
Upgrade
people paying
complete.
$8 a month. I'd take those numbers.
Upgrade
True.
complete.
Like I saw people making fun of him, like, oh,
Upgrade
no one
complete.
actually watched this. Look at how it's like. No,
Upgrade
it's like
complete.
$10,000 a month.
Upgrade in
Oh
progress.
yeah.
I'm sure he's just crying about those poll
Upgrade
numbers.
complete.
I mean, the dude's a, what, 35, 30, 40-year-old man talking about drama on YouTube. Like, I'm sure he's got pretty thick skin because,
Upgrade.
like, he's, like,
Upgrade in
come on.
progress.
Oh,
Upgrade
PC spec
complete.
information, I think is what we were talking.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade.
I have a 1080, so
Upgrade
not one of the 20
complete.
series, but the
Upgrade.
thing
1080
I
is pretty
mostly
good.
built my computer around was getting
Upgrade.
a processor with high base clock speed,
Upgrade.
because that's the
complete.
thing Empire War cares about the most, and people
Upgrade in
mostly think I
progress.
exist as a way for them to
Upgrade complete.
experience Empire War. So I've
Upgrade
accepted that,
complete.
and
Upgrade complete.
I've
Not me.
steered into
Upgrade
that.
Complete.
Did I tell you the issue I was having with my computer about my CPU?
Upgrade.
With Empire
complete.
War, or
No, I was having the weirdest issue. So on my
Can you do stuff with PCs that don't involve Empire War?
Maybe, I'm not sure. But
Upgrade in progress.
for some reason I was like, man,
Upgrade
like I got the 2070 and I was like, man, PUBG is still stuttering. Like, what the hell is going on? So I was like, maybe it has to do with the CPU. And I looked at it. I opened up, I forget what the program is, but apparently my CPU has been limited to 1.55. What is it, gigahertz or what's the?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gigahertz.
it's been limited to 1.55 gigahertz because of some weird interaction between my graphics or my CPU and my motherboard. So that was the max speed I could possibly get, no matter the stress, no matter the temperature or anything.
Upgrade.
And that was like across all cores.
Upgrade.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, so that's like shit. And it's been like that for a while.
That
So
explains a lot.
yeah, so I downloaded but it's Empire War is still running weird on it. But anyway, I downloaded a new what's it called, BIOS, and installed that, and now it's like baseline is like up to 4 or something, and I overclocked it, so it's like
Much better.
and I got a solid state drive for the computer for the first time. I got the new graphics card, and I got that, so it's like, man, I'm got a whole new machine here.
Oh man, getting your first SSD, like
It's beautiful.
I built a laptop at the end of last year because I was planning to go back and forth between Niagara and Ottawa more because my mom was sick, and I figured I'd be able to go and work more.
Yep.
Upgrade complete.
And so I
Upgrade complete.
got the laptop with an SSD, and
Upgrade
immediately
complete.
my desktop was like
Upgrade in progress.
unbearable.
Upgrade.
Yeah, my
I had to get
laptop
one.
has an SSD, and it's
Upgrade
I know what you mean.
complete.
It's like 10-second boot up. When I used to have to reboot my computer, it'd be like 4 minutes to be
Yeah.
fully running.
Like I'd go and take a shower or something.
Oh yeah.
There they are. Lock them.
Destroyed.
Awaiting command.
This isn't as many ships as I thought.
My real takeaway from that story, though, is that you've played PUBG recently.
Just to test it, because PUBG was the game that I always wanted to play, but like never could. Or like I could play it, but not well.
Yeah,
And yeah, so I tested it, and why? You don't like PUBG?
I like PUBG. My friends and I used to play it a lot. We haven't played it in a while, but I heard they had helicopters now.
Starting our attack run.
Not the map that I was in, I don't think, but I don't know. I'm still trashed at the game, so I've won like twice PUBG.
Well, I had a group of 4 of us that just played all day, every day last summer.
It was so addicting when it first came out. So how many wins do you have? Do you know?
Several dinners were had.
Several dinners were had. There we go.
We got pretty into it. Very few had anything to do with me.
I gotta say, one of the most intense like gaming moments of my life was my solo. I got like maybe 2 solo wins on PUBG, and each one, like, my heart rate was probably like 150, legitimately.
I had the unarmed and unharmed strategy, where I'd just hide in the bathroom without a weapon.
Nowhere to run.
A good one.
Falling out of formation.
Alright, once again, sending those fighters in alone. I admire your courage.
I'm trying to just simulate it. I don't want to control it. I just want to see which fleet wins.
Go after the stragglers.
Listen, Admiral fucking CoreyLoses over there.
All right, so
Look, we passed their corvettes. You know, we're fine.
so the fleet that's actually being told what to do versus the fleet that is.
If being told what to do, all I did was I hit Control A and I pointed them in this direction.
Yes, Commander.
See?
I don't know why we bother with AI improvements when this is
Falling out of formation.
You mean because they've got no chance? Look, my fighters have gotten in there. They've done damage. They're blowing shit up.
Very happy for them, but
Ye-
I'm not convinced about the long-term viability of this fleet.
We'll see.
Formation. Go after the stragglers. Coming around.
We'll see. Someone said, "Do you want to explain the story?" I'm a bit confused. Is Thrawn's Revenge New Republic era or everything?
So, Thrawn's Revenge has sort of become the overall name for the mod team. We have Imperial Civil War, which is the New Republic stuff, post-Endor, but this is Fall of the Republic, so this is Clone Wars era mod. Then we've got Legends of the Vong War, which will be what eventually splits off from Imperial Civil War for the Vong War.
Locking on.
And
Enemies in
then
range.
if we finish enough other stuff, then maybe Reven's Revenge will be real.
Really?
You never know.
Target.
Would you do Revan before you did New Canon, do you think?
I have them now.
Probably. Yeah, I think so.
The only thing I would say about that is, like, there are a lot of Old Republic mods already, and there's no good, to my knowledge at least, canon mod, is there?
Well, I think there were like only 2
Falling out.
Oh,
Old
okay.
Republic mods that actually got anywhere.
Oh, okay.
No new canon mods, but
I do think there is an audience for that, don't you?
Destroyed, sir.
yeah.
Oh, look, these ships got active.
The stragglers.
It kind of like I've always kind of been thinking that if we did a pre-Endor mod, it might be more new canon.
Mm-hmm.
But I think either way, I'd probably give it a bit more time for ships to
Yeah, fair
develop
enough.
for new canon, especially vehicles.
Yeah. I hope we get some new ships in episode 9.
You mean
Just-
just slung cannons on Star Destroyers isn't enough? CR9.
It's getting there. That's like Resistance. I'm pretty sure the only like Resistance capital ship we've seen in that show is a CR-90.
Out of formation. Draw their fire. Attack formation.
Well, one of the reasons we'd actually do like Old Republic first is because
Primary drive system
a lot of the team that makes or that is or was on Thrawn's Revenge was also part of a mod called Ages of Star Wars, which was a Jedi Civil War mod. So we actually do have a lot of character models done,
Oh, okay.
which does make it easier.
That was a Empire at War mod, was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was like 2006. To
I was gonna say I've never heard of that one. I don't think. The assets are still good.
The ships aren't, but a lot of the character models were really well done. Unfortunately, we lost a lot of them. What's left is still
R.I.P.
around.
Oof. I don't know, Corey. Everywhere I look, I'm seeing separatist ships get blown up.
Well, you rigged it, so
Nah.
We've lost our launch.
I really want to get a Coruscant low orbit
Yeah, that'd be cool.
mod, but it's one of the more difficult.
You could go ultra low orbit like Republic at War does, or yeah, Republic at War. They've got a few maps where it's like you're fighting over the city.
The launch bay is gone.
Yeah, one of the things we've been trying to do with the low orbit maps is make sure it stays readable so you can still see what's going on. And
Yeah.
I feel like some of the maps like that in Republic of War,
Intercepting.
like it's hard to see that there are ships anywhere, whereas like kind of see here that
Wow, I can just fly through the planet, Corey. Wow.
don't do that. Don't.
Oh, so it's an actual object.
Right now the camera is unlocked, so you
Fire.
can
Wow.
fly out further than you're supposed to be able to.
Wow. No care for your YouTube influencers.
My YouTube influence.
Wow, Republic fighters are still dominating, Corey.
My loyalty is to the audience.
Commander,
To the gamers.
where'd he go? I'm losing.
From my point of view, the gamers are evil.
Oh man, if Obi-Wan came out against gamers, people would not be pleased. Considering Obi-Wan is like the hottest memeable Star Wars character.
They've destroyed our torpedo launcher.
They should have had Obi-Wan be played by Keanu Reeves.
Probably the only
We
time.
actually do need a new cloud texture because
They
right now
took
it's
out our
using
lasers.
one that doesn't tile how. You can see a big line right there.
Yeah.
Nowhere to run.
Let's focus in on it.
Yeah, and if you want to just fly straight up to it like you were doing,
Oh
that'd
yeah,
be great.
with pleasure. Let's see what it looks like from the other side. I'm breaking the veil here. Wow, wow. This model is so bad, or this texture is so bad. Can't even see the planet from the inside, Corey. Where's the lava? Where's the planet core?
can you see
Where are
the,
the Gungans?
The planet core.
Can I see what?
I was gonna say, can you see the fleet from inside the planet? It looks like
No.
you just see the other side of the planet.
Yeah. It's like the cloud layer moving. Maybe from like around and like maybe over here. You ever see 2001: A Space Odyssey? Because this is like when what's the main character's name of that movie? Sam or whatever, when it becomes the Star Child.
I always thought the main character was Hal.
He's one of the main characters, I guess. What's this quote again? I can't let you do that. Who? Oh my god! Look at the camera viewer. I wish Empire at War would automatically recenter. Dave, right? Yeah, Dave. I wish it would automatically adjust the minimap to your perspective. Does that make sense? You know what I mean?
To the orientation you have?
Yeah.
You want the mini map to be dependent on your camera?
Yeah.
It just sounds like you'd get even more lost more easily.
Yeah, maybe.
Seb was asking, I want to know how big the maps are and if they're original. Well, all the maps in the mod are made by the mod, if that's what you mean. And generally, they're much smaller than this. This is just for this mode and also for the main menu. But you're generally not like spending an hour running across the map, if that's what you mean.
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade in progress.
Battle sim time, baby.
Upgrade.
Providence versus Venator. Who wins?
Roger that. Form up.
Probably
Waiting
Providence right
orders.
now.
Copy.
All right, you said the Venator is a bit underpowered, didn't you?
Yeah.
On our way.
A lot of
Keep your eyes
fighters.
fire on those torpedo launchers.
A lot of fighters.
What's the most obscure lore video you've ever considered making? Like non-Star Wars, universe-wide.
What do you mean?
Like, you do
Oh.
some Star Wars, some Halo.
Oh,
You ever thought of like a...
yeah. There's this
Hitchhiker's
movie.
Guide isn't obscure, but
No, there's this movie called it's like this French animated movie that I'm working on a video for. It's called I forget the English name. What's the French name for it? Hold on. I can't actually remember what the name of it is. It's called like it's Spectacular Planet or something. Fantastic Planet. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty obscure. It's like some animated French movie from the 70s. It's about like these creatures and there's like this human slave race. I think it's called like Savage Planet in because I remember it's called like Le Planet Sauvage or something, and the one that I'm watching for it. Other than that,
I really thought it'd be the Red Green Show podcast.
that's coming, yeah. Who has the longer range?
Take out the
Are they
ion
equal?
cannons.
After we had that conversation, I told my girlfriend about it,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, "Oh yeah, my family sees the actor from that show around town all the time.
Oh, nice.
Like, I would 100% want to meet Steve Smith."
Yeah, absolutely. So you see the Trailer Park Boys around town quite a bit here. When I was getting my passport renewed, I was sitting next to Julian. What's his name again? Smith. Oh no, Bubbles is Mike Smith. Rob Wells is Ricky, I think. John Paul Tremblay, I think that's his name. Most Canadian named people ever. John Paul Tremblay, Mike Smith. I guess Rob Wells isn't particularly Canadian, but
I got someone asking me for money or threatening me for money that looked exactly like Bubbles once. That's about as close as I did bike past Stephen Harper once. That was
oh really?
That was something.
Neat. Did you smell the motor oil from where you were? The robotic gears turning?
He was out for a run, so I think.
Really? Did he have like not secret? What does do Canadian Parliament like CSIS? Would that be who provide? I don't know who provides.
I don't know. I think it might be RCMP. That does
RCMP,
the
yeah, I guess so.
guard.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's how I noticed it was him, because I like rode my bike past two guys that were in like full suit, Bluetooth headset. Just thought they were weird.
Mhm.
And past some middle-aged guy who I thought like I was going, so I passed him from behind,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought he looked kind of familiar.
Yeah.
And then I bike past the next two guards, like, oh wait, that was Stephen Harper.
What neighborhood do you live in again? Well, actually, never mind. You don't.
Oh yeah. So,
I mean, like,
here's my phone.
is it like, what part of the city would you call it? Or,
Well, at that time, I lived more towards the north, and I was like biking along the river path.
Star Cruiser standing by.
Now I live
Take out their engine.
more south.
did Byward Market have a big fire or something? I thought I heard about.
Yeah, there was a restaurant that caught fire on Market. There was also a bear that was loose there for a while. But that was.
I stayed there for a couple of weeks, 2 summers ago. I really liked it there. 3 summers ago, maybe. Like one of the I don't know. I forget what the hotel is. It's a really tall one though. It's called
Attached to the mall.
No, it's not attached to the mall. I think it's called the
Les
Quartz or
Suites?
something. It's called the Andes. It's like I don't know how I describe it. I've only been there once. But yeah, I really liked it there. It's by like, what's it by? Lone Star Texas Grill?
I know the place.
Do you actually?
Yeah, like it's in the market, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the one really tall building.
Yeah,
in that
exactly.
area.
I went to this pub that was pretty cool. It was like everything was like really, really cheap, like $3 or $4 or something, like food and drink. So those places are kind of popping up. But.
Yeah, it's a lot of like university bars around there, so they're not too.
Yeah, I really liked it there. My one of my buddies, well, actually, he's not really my buddy. I went to school with him, I guess. He works for the government. Well, I think he works. Well, he works for. Yeah, he works for the government in some capacity, and he like has dinners with Justin Trudeau all the time. He's always posting pictures on Facebook.
Damn.
Mission log updated.
So he's really short. It's kind of funny.
I thought I saw him grocery shopping once, but my only prime minister encounter was Stephen Harper, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's pretty boring.
I was hoping to see Kretchen because he used to
Upgrade
eat at
in progress.
a restaurant that was down the street from my
Upgrade
apartment.
complete.
I interviewed with a
But-
law firm that he worked at, or he works at now, or advises for.
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade
Isn't he like
in
90
progress.
now?
Yeah.
Upgrade.
He has not aged well after leaving office.
No.
Like, every picture, I saw him doing in a picture for like his book tour in 2008 or something, and he just looked like
Upgrade
dead.
in progress.
I mean, Yeah.
Upgrade complete.
Do you ever see the Schwinnigan handshake?
Upgrade complete.
Yeah.
Upgrade.
There's
in
a
progress.
street that I live in my city called Schwinnigan. Every time I drive by there, I just think of
Complete.
old Johnny choking
Upgrade
someone out.
Complete.
Then the pepper spray stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Upgrade
Pepper,
in
I put it
progress.
on my plate.
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete.
Oh, yeah. So Star Wars.
Upgrade
Right.
complete. Upgrade.
Which CIS member do you think John Critchan is most like? You're laughing, but I'm actually wondering.
I don't know if there's a real answer to that question.
I feel like there must be.
Warm up.
He's definitely not like a Wat Tambor or anything. Like, I don't know. I gotta think about it. Wish Empire at War had more tactic controls, like Titan formation or...
So that Age of Empires 2 stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, so Oakley in the chat. Obama visited town here. So Obama, when he came to Ottawa the first time, he bought a cookie from some, and now for the last like 11 years, the place has called them Obama cookies, and they're little maple leaf cookies. So there's nothing Obama related about them other than he ate one once, and it's just been Obama cookies forever. But
I was in New York City one year when Obama was there, and like he completely completely shut down like a big chunk of Manhattan that we were in, like for security, and it was just crazy. Like Canadian prime ministers don't get that treatment. Andrew Shearer's new gun ray. I think you're being awfully generous to Andrew. I don't think Newt Gunray said anything bad about gay people marrying that I remember. That might be Legends only. I don't know why I built my fleet so much more powerful than theirs, but
so one thing I did, I have sort of thought about is different like stances for ships, where you know like you'll always be watching a movie or reading a book, and they'll be like, oh, intensify like all shield front, all that kind of shit. So I do want to. I've thought about using some stuff with scripts and some other abilities to kind of toggle like defensive stance for a ship or
ooh, that'd be cool.
Stance. So rather than just being like power weapons where you're dumping all power into the weapons for 3 seconds, it'd be like a general shift of
right. That would just be like unlimited. Like there wouldn't be a cost to it. It would just be like, well, I mean there'd be like a systems exchange cost, but not like
but not like
a recharge or anything.
Yeah, not like such a huge shift in power that it's a short-term thing. Like it's just this Venator is set towards defensive stance because it's the middle of stuff, and this one's farther back, so I'm going to put it
like
more
long range or something. That would be cool if you could. How many abilities can a ship have at once?
So you can have 2 activatable abilities, but you can have unlimited passive ones, and actually the way that I'd want to do that kind of thing would probably be with just additional GUI, so it'd just track it based on like it probably wouldn't need to take an ability slot.
Oh, okay. It'd be cool. I forget, does the mod do anything right now with like ship upgrades? Because I know like that's something Awakening of the Rebellion does with like their the carriers, especially. Like you can get new fighter squadrons and stuff. Does the mod have anything like that in right now?
So Fall of the Republic will have more upgrades like that. The reason we don't do it too much in Imperial Civil War is because we have so many playable factions.
Right.
And the you can only do the story scripting that you need to have stuff lock and unlock properly with the Empire, New Republic, and Empire of the Hand. So we generally don't want to have one faction having access to a bunch of upgrades and mechanics the other factions can't.
Right.
And like we could do it so that you can upgrade individual ships.
Yeah, that's more what I was thinking. Like, it'd be cool if like, okay, I want this, like I want like this Star Destroyer. I've grown really fond of it. I want it to be my flagship, so maybe I'll give it like, I don't know, like better, like longer range turbo lasers or like more armor or something.
Yeah, that doesn't tend to work quite as well in Thrawn's Revenge just because the fleets tend to be larger sizes. It's less like in AOTR, you're only going to have a handful of ships at any given time, whereas in Thrawn's Revenge, you'll have like you can have a dozen Star Destroyers in a fleet.
Right.
Of those fleets.
Yeah.
Upgrade complete.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do like that about it. That kind of makes Awakening of the Rebellion sort of a nice change from some other mods because you do kind of get attached to your ships a bit.
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade in progress.
But that mod kind of devolves into Rebel fighter spam pretty quick.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete. Upgrade in progress. Upgrade complete. Upgrade in progress. Upgrade in progress. Upgrade in progress.
What do you think of these fleets, Corey? Who's gonna win?
Upgrade complete.
Actually, I didn't give the another.
I always think the CIS is gonna win. So.
I'll give them one.
Complete. Upgrade complete.
There.
Delta 38 was asking, will the Acclimator get an open circle fleet page up? So the way we're actually going to be doing open circle fleet would be if Admiral Yularen is in the battle and you bring in a ship after him, like a Venator and Acclimator, that ship will have the paint job for open circle fleet.
That's cool.
Rather than just making every Venator be open circle fleet or every Acclimator be open circle fleet, which doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. Which one's
And
my
then
Tector?
Yularen's ship or some other command ships like that would have the red.
It would just be cool if there was some way to like designate command ships and stuff like that, but it's just so limited with what you can do.
Yeah, there's some stuff with influence where we're gonna have more stuff that's kind of like the fleet and field commanders from the base game.
Chris, thank you for the $5 donation. He says it's been fun, but I have to head out. Take care. May the force be with you. May the force be with you too. Thank you very much for the donation. Have a good night.
Ready for action.
Just a reminder, guys, as well, that there is a link to this mod down in the description. But the best place to download it is on Steam, right, Corey?
For Imperial Civil War, yes. Fall of the Republic is not out yet.
Yeah, yeah, sorry, that's right. I just got you in trouble. With, I don't know who, I guess you answered to yourself, but...
I almost fired myself when you said that, actually.
I'll put in a good word for you to you.
I don't know if I'd take a reference from you.
I wouldn't. 100% not. How does range accuracy work? Is it like is it just like are there categories, or is it like based just on total distance and some number?
Yeah, so each weapon on each ship has a range versus a given category. So like fighter, bomber, transport, frigate, capital, super capital, the categories. You want to add like one or two more intermediate ones in there, but it's a limited bit field that you have to work with.
Right.
And then there's an angle that each one has, so it kind of fires within a cone. And the bigger the, like you set the degrees for the cone in the weapon, and then so the farther away it is, the higher the chance that the cone is going to be enough that it's going to miss.
Makes sense. So is it like, are there, is it like a step-based thing, or is it just like, do you know what I mean? Like, is it like a formula, or is it like, okay, so
No,
within...
it's just, you just set the degrees for that field, and then
Oh, okay, gotcha.
within that. So if you have like a 5-degree field for it, it'll shoot like it'll set a straight line between it and the unit that it's targeting,
Right.
and shoot kind of randomly within whatever, like at whatever degree. is
Gotcha.
allowed.
Oh, so just the wider it gets, the less chance of
Yeah.
hitting something. Gotcha.
So if you have like, you can set the number to 180 degrees, and then it can fire like backwards instead.
But just
Then
not very
obviously-
accurately.
Yeah. Like,
Well,
if
unless you
it's trying to
put-
something in front of it, it
Yeah.
could potentially shoot backward
Right.
if you have 180 degrees.
And I guess you compensate for that by more bolts or faster bolts or whatever if you want to up accuracy.
Commander.
Yeah, like with
So like the
larger
peltas
ships
would be like a
targeting
straight
smaller
line,
ships.
basically.
Yeah. With larger ships targeting smaller ships, we tend to have it be a bit more inaccurate, so that there's some more survivability and more
Right.
impetus to use some of the smaller ships.
Mm-hmm.
Florastone's asking, have you considered adding rebellions with the new influence mechanic? Yeah, so if you have 0 influence on a planet and you've just pissed off everyone on the planet for long, then you can, like, factions can reemerge that way. You can lose the planet. So
That should be pretty easy to do with the corruption mechanic, I would assume.
No, the
No?
influence mechanic actually doesn't involve.
Oh, really?
at all.
Huh.
It's entirely Lewis stuff on top of other game functions.
Are you going to, oh man, I think I cracked right in half. Are you going to add new win conditions for the ICW?
Yeah, so each GC we want to have some different win conditions, but we also want them to be kind of optional, so we want to program them in a different way.
Yeah.
So eventually it would take the player to actually say, like, I've met this condition and I'm okay with that, right? Like, if people want to finish the whole galaxy, they should have the
Yeah, of
option
course,
to do
yeah.
that. So rather than just being like, you have 60% of the planets or whatever, you win now, it'd be, you have 60% of the planets, if you want to win now, press this button.
Right. Makes sense too.
And Aragon was asking about the types of fighters being deployed. The reason that you really only see ARC 170s and the V19s right now is just because those are the only ones that are done at the. Like, there will be more varied fighter loadouts once the assets for the other ships get done. Like, the Y-wing's done, but it's not in game yet. The V-wing's being done, so don't worry about that.
Have you guys ever looked into Homefront?
Copy.
I mean, obviously it's a lot of.
Torpedo launchers.
That's what the game's called, right? I mean, obviously it's a shitload of work to. You would never probably get into a new game now, but the game seems to have a lot of what? Homeworld, yeah, sorry.
When the Homeworld 2 Remastered first came out, I kind of thought about it, but I don't think it'd be something that we'd move to, especially at this point.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Like, we'd be more likely, if I did start, like, I can't speak for the rest of the team, but if I did start modding another game, it'd probably be something more like Stellaris, or ideally, we talked about, like, starting our own kind of game,
Star Destroyer reporting in.
like our own indie game.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I mean, even just like a simplified version of what you get in Empire at War, even with like the most basic of graphics, you know, squares versus circles, but like,
Yeah, the big problem with doing an indie game is that we wouldn't be able to do anything Star Wars.
yeah, of course.
And then people would get upset if we start doing that, and that would also mean that we can't do, like,
Yeah.
there's no way we're making like 3 mods plus any game. So
Plus, there's
sure
also the
there'd be
issue
some
if you
amount of
use
wiggle.
stuff that even if like just like tangentially you use something that you developed while working on this mod, and now like you're including it as part of like a game you're selling, you know.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like a texture or something, you know. Here's what you do. I'll explain it as your lawyer. You build the game, then you make it moddable,
Roger that.
and then you put on your second face, the mod developer, and you make a Star Wars mod for it. There you go.
and just be anonymous the whole time.
Yeah.
But I happen to have the preview builds and
Yeah.
promoting it.
Yeah. I mean,
This mod by
Ready to fire.
Dory Snoozes.
I mean, anyone doing a space game nowadays must just like, if you don't have modding functionality, you're a fool, because you're basically like, if your game has like enough potential, you're basically selling a Star Wars game without actually, you know. if a dedicated mod team comes around. I mean, if your game is good enough, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like I bought, well, I didn't, but I know a lot of people bought Sins of the Prophets for your mod or for Galactic Civil. What was the other one called? Sins of a Galactic Empire or Sins of the Prophets?
Well, Sins of the Prophets. You call it Sins of the Prophets when you said you bought it. So there you go.
Oh, did I? Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
But Stardock is actually
Awaiting your command.
Stardock and Ironclad in particular are really great to work with. They're very responsive to mod community stuff. They're the developers of the developer and publisher of Sins of a Solar Empire.
Yeah.
Petroglyph's been pretty good too, but the game doesn't quite get the same support. And
Yeah,
obviously they have
of
a
course.
publisher to go through.
Yeah.
But the devs for Sins of a Solar Empire, they like specifically ask modders, hey, what do you guys want to have the game support? They talk to us. They like if we have an issue and we go to them, we're like, hey, can this be done? Usually the answer is, they'll do what they can.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I mean, your game has been on the splash screen before, hasn't it? For the launcher for the game?
yeah.
Yeah.
So they do the mod spotlights where like, we've been on there.
Lasers are our target.
Star Trek Armada 3's been on there.
I've seen Sins of the Prophets on there a few
Sins of
times.
the Prophets, Dawn of the Reapers.
Would you say Sins of the Prophets, just ignoring your mod for a second, would you say Sins of the Prophets is the most, like, detailed and, I guess, like, not necessarily polished, but I mean, like, the quality of models for that game are unreal. Or for that mod, I mean.
Sins of the Prophets has really good, really consistent, but even including our own stuff for Sins, I do think one of the most consistent, polished mods I've seen for any game is Star Trek Armada 3 and, by extension, Age of the Federation. Like, between gameplay, graphics, sound, thematics, I think STA3 pulls everything together the best. Like, with Sins of the Prophets, the presentation is fantastic, but I don't think the gameplay is quite as good as STA3 is.
Sins of the Prophets is brutally hard.
Well, the balancing for it goes so heavily toward the lore faction identities.
Yeah.
In a way that...
Which is
isn't
interesting
always
because it's like, as the UNSC, you really do need to build, like, sometimes 50 ships to take on one Covenant capital ship, but, you know, like, it might go too far, maybe. So I don't know what's keeping this thing alive.
When we made the shield gens untargetable, I think there were a couple ships that didn't have the health adjustment.
Gotcha.
So I think you basically got that.
Eliminating target.
Alright, maybe we'll do one more.
Falling out.
Do you want to switch back to Imperial Civil War for that one? And then I can show you how to do that so I don't forget.
Oh yeah, I mean, I assume it's just the other file, right?
The other one.
Yeah.
But I've had people ask for tech support after they've deleted their exe file before, so I get...
4chan told me to... Oh, well, speaking of, I just opened the base game, so...
Way to go.
Do you think we'll ever get another Empire at War?
I think it's 50-50.
50-50. Okay, that's pretty good. I was gonna say that's better. It's probably better than I'd put it, I think. But that's why I ask. I feel like you have your finger on the pulse more.
Before Petroglyph got the CNC contract with EA, I would have said like 0%. The game's dead. If you've ever heard of Sylvia Brown, but that with the updates they did when Disney approved them, and with their working relationship with EA now, I think there is a non-zero chance that we get some kind of new Empire at War content. Because Petroglyph has wanted to do it literally since the game release, but LucasArts
why
said
wouldn't
no,
they? Yeah.
and like LucasArts kept saying no and kept canceling sequels to stuff.
Yeah.
But Petroglyph has kept asking everyone, and then EA said no, but EA then was like, hey, you want to make the CNC stuff? And then I think if the CNC stuff does well,
which I think it will,
perfectly fine with Petroglyph doing another Empire War thing.
Mm-hmm.
Upgrade complete.
Just the way they've handled Star Wars games has just been baffling.
Upgrade complete.
Yeah, it seemed like
Upgrade.
EA was supposed to kind of take over as the new LucasArts, and then the direction they took that was like, okay,
Upgrade
no one else.
complete.
Yep.
Upgrade complete.
Yeah.
Upgrade.
I love the Gladiator.
complete.
Such a cool ship.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade.
What's your favorite non-Star Destroyer in the Imperial fleet?
Upgrade in progress.
Lancer, I guess. I mean, that's like
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade complete.
there's not much to choose
Upgrade.
from there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Upgrade complete.
Kind of love the Dreadnought just because of how
Upgrade
simple it is.
complete.
Yeah, dreadnoughts are nice.
Like
I used to
elegant in
really
its
like
own
the
way.
assault frigate.
Oh yeah, the assault frigate's cool. Used to though, you said?
It used to be my favorite ship, and then Rick Houston kind of edged that out.
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade in progress. Upgrade in progress. Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete.
Did I tell you the Star Wars wiki arguments I had with people about whether Venators served in the Rebel Alliance fleet?
We did not.
Well, so like every Wikipedia page for the Venator had it serving under the Rebel Alliance, which I guess you would assume that okay, maybe yeah, I guess it makes sense
Upgrade
that they probably got their hands on one, especially with what you see in like Rebellion with like
complete.
they've got like the
Upgrade in
Rebel
progress.
One and the
Upgrade.
I don't think they have Recusants too. I think.
Upgrade.
Because it wasn't really like a big disagreement. It's just this guy kept reverting all the changes I made to Wiki because there's no actual proof of them using any.
Upgrade in progress.
And yeah, like he just kept reverting the changes and like
Upgrade in progress.
just saying, well, they definitely used one. Like there's obvious proof of that, but he just couldn't provide it. And there's like there was a discussion on Wiki, which I think got deleted now, but that's why like I hate sometimes fucking with Wikipedia. It's just such like a shit show, and people get like really weird about stuff.
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade
Yeah.
complete.
I've never bothered trying to edit it.
Complete.
I find so many things when I'm writing scripts for datapad videos where it's like, no, this is clearly wrong.
Yeah.
Upgrade.
This sounds wrong, and then I look it up, and what do you know, it is wrong.
Yeah.
Upgrade.
Because I think I brought up the thing in the last Tap Cap episode where
Upgrade.
Singe and Face are
Upgrade complete.
Face pretending to be
Upgrade in
Derillion.
progress.
Mm-hmm.
With that one guy who's gonna
Upgrade
retire.
complete.
And Singe is like, no,
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
want you
yeah.
to kill him. The retirement where you like go and write your memoirs and stuff, live in a cottage, which was clearly
Clearly
just
a
like
joke,
facetious
yeah.
comment about no, don't shoot this guy.
Yeah.
The Wikipedia article for that guy is literally just he went and lived at a cottage and wrote some memoirs.
Yeah. That's where I find most of my errors too. Just like when I'm like already have read something and then I'm just like, okay, did I miss any sources or anything? And then it's just like, oh,
Upgrade in
there's this
progress.
clearly wrong information. Like, for like one was the Vong world ship. The wiki said that the average size was 100 kilometers. When it's just like the Banu Ross, that's that big.
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade complete.
Modular Task Force Cruiser, not one of my favorite ships, I gotta say.
It's gross.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade in
It
progress.
is kind of gross, isn't it?
Upgrade.
All right,
complete.
what do you think of these two fleets, Corey?
Upgrade complete.
New Republic's got this.
Think?
Upgrade complete.
Did you
Might add a
give
couple more Star
her
Destroyers.
An SSD?
They've got a Praetor.
Like an actual SSD?
No, should I?
Not a little babby battle cruiser.
I could give them a Bellator. Think I
What
should?
about the Eclipse?
The Eclipse? Oh boy, alright.
Upgrade in progress.
Don't have
Upgrade complete.
to... Oof. Don't gotta twist my arm. Alright, well, in that case, I'm gonna give the New Republic a few more ships. I gotta give them the
I thought
Viscount.
that MC80 was a Viscount.
Oh no.
Upgrade in progress.
Give the NR2 Viscount
Upgrade
so you can blow one
complete.
up.
Okay. Oh, good call.
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade
Is that legal?
complete.
I will make it legal.
I don't know where they went. I have no idea where those Viscounts went.
I guess they went to the fish tank in the sky.
I guess
Upgrade
so.
In progress. Upgrade complete.
Try another.
Wait, that's definitely a... Yeah, okay.
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade complete.
Big fish
It
doesn't
may
want to...
think the spawn point is blocked, so it doesn't want to jump it in.
It could, yeah.
So that'll be another reason to get the settable spawn points.
Yeah. Oh, I just saw... Okay, never mind.
Upgrade complete.
Betsy is very insistent
Upgrade
that we do Alphabet Squadron on tap.
Upgrade.
I've seen her. I wasn't a huge fan of Alphabet Squadron.
Well,
Oh,
see
there
the
they are.
recap episode.
I found the Viscounts.
Jesus. How'd they end up here?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, super laser, I guess.
Upgrade.
Let's kill my
in
computer.
progress. Upgrade complete.
Oh my god.
Enemy forces ahead.
Oh no. We Yoden mod now, boys.
You are getting more frames than I thought you would.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty impressed.
This is why we don't have rotating turrets.
Yeah, seriously. I'm getting probably like 10 frames.
This is definitely a cinematic mode thing, or else I'm not going to see anything.
Oh yeah, this is real great. What we got right here.
Press spacebar.
Hold on, you'll get it in a second. I'm ahead of you. There it is.
Yeah, this is.
Hey, that looks like a Resurgent. You'll see it in a second. The second angle has like a Star Destroyer with its
Oh,
top
yeah,
cut
yeah,
off.
yeah. Yeah, that actually does.
Yeah.
Accepting. Target critical.
Yeah, it looked cool, Corey.
Where's the star
Our reagent system is down.
I am ready.
This is just pure art.
Why do your Disney shells do any new thing in Kyle? I don't know why Snape is not defending them.
By my will.
Harry, get out of here. I'm trying to talk on my Star Wars message board.
You'll never believe what the SJWs have done now.
Get out of my room, Mom.
Alright, this is a mess. This is a mistake. All because you said, hey, why don't you throw an SSD in there?
Yeah, NSSD.
Yeah, well, 1 turned into 5 pretty quick.
It's not my fault you have no self-control.
Mission log updated.
I see that big, long, black triangle, and you know me.
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete.
New Republic Fleet Formation, the one you talked about in a dedicated video. I don't remember that.
Upgrade complete.
Maybe I do. I'll do it another day if I don't think we got the ships for it.
Complete.
What ships are we missing?
I don't know. I just don't want to do the video. No, maybe we do have it. I just don't want to do it right now.
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade complete.
I love this angle of the...
Complete.
Just makes this thing look so beefy.
Upgrade complete.
Literally any time there's a new Star Wars thing, like a new like any image that shows a bunch of Star Destroyers, Imperial Star Destroyers, inevitably I get a message, somebody asking, hey, that third Star Destroyer to the right, could that be an Allegiance? I'm like, no, it's just a thick looking ISD.
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade in progress. Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete.
I think we need a
Upgrade
Nebula on
complete.
B-Fest.
Ooh, yeah.
Upgrade.
How about all of these ships versus about 30 Nebulon Bs? Well,
Oh,
then need
are
to
we
be...
going to
In
reenact
progress.
the destruction
Upgrade
of
complete.
Delvardis' ship? Was that Delvardis? I think.
Upgrade
Yeah, Thalassa.
complete.
Yeah.
Somehow some Nebulon Bs and I think a couple Y-Wings destroyed a
complete.
Praetor.
Do the Nebulon Bs, they've got one fighter? Yeah.
Upgrade in progress.
Maybe I'll put some Coronas as well. No ship above 350 meters.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete.
Don't forget the DP-20s far right there.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade.
How could I?
Complete. Upgrade complete.
I know how much you love the far right.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete.
I thought you were gonna say DP.
Complete. Upgrade in progress. Upgrade
That's for the private video.
Guess you're not that clever.
complete.
Alright, this idea wasn't as fun as I thought it was gonna be. I can already tell. Whatever.
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade complete.
Hey, can you tell me the status of the recent upgrade? Oh, okay, thanks.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade in progress. Upgrade complete. Upgrade in progress. Upgrade complete. Upgrade in progress.
I don't have any sound on for the stream, so
It's probably a good idea.
I'm subjected to that.
Okay.
Probably remove that
Upgrade in
because
progress.
it's annoying.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade in progress. Upgrade complete. Upgrade in progress. Upgrade complete.
This would have been what would have happened if
Complete.
I don't know, Riken was emperor and he sent a fleet hidden in the unknown regions.
Upgrade complete.
We only use small ships. Use a lot of
Upgrade.
So much more flexible.
Located the enemy.
Destroyed.
Excellent shot.
I don't know if I'm gonna get more or less frames.
probably fewer.
Fewer, yeah. Okay, Mr. Grammar.
I wasn't
Don't.
correct.
You were.
I wasn't gonna just be wrong because you were.
That's how it works when you're on my stream.
I'm not here to protect your vanity.
Yes you are.
Go after the stragglers.
Oh boy. Oh lord, they coming.
Think you can just get someone with a cozy little channel to come on here just to beg for subs? They'll go along with whatever you say. No. I'm taking a stand.
Someone had to. I was going mad with power. Dude, if
I
you're...
demand a battle breakdown every day and a factions companion.
Oh, I don't even do those anymore very much.
Because you sold out.
Yeah, I did. To the views.
I've seen the checks on it.
That's funny because I literally got a check in the mail today. From selling out. It was literally from a sponsored video. I got a check in the mail. So, GG. Thanks.
If you watch the Rise of Skywalker trailer breakdown you did, in the background you can just hear Mickey Mouse. Like, yeah, that's right.
Caught you fuckers again, didn't I?
Falling out of formation. I got him.
Hey, what do I get to voice for you, Corey? I've been meaning to do something for the mod.
I don't know.
It's gotta be a cool ship, though.
Regroup.
So not the Sasheen?
No, God, no.
I'm on this one.
I have them now.
What about...
He's headed your direction.
Can we do the Can I do the Dreadnought? And what I'll do is I'll do my version of the German line from Awakening of the Rebellion.
So you're gonna do a fake accent?
Yep. Whoa.
Then this is your audition. Sell me on it right now. Give me the performance of a lifetime.
I was gonna do a Nazi joke, but it's just not
I did
Not-
not see that coming.
not in today's. Yeah, I've been on Reddit too, Corey.
Go after the stragglers.
The old Reddit switcheroo. Let's post the same thing 60 times. Call that internet culture.
Regroup for another attack.
Oh, the boys are almost in range. Not really, actually. Speaking of the boys, did you watch the boys?
I have not watched The Boys. I've heard good things about The Boys.
It's because it's good. All right.
So all these Nebulon bees flying towards Star Destroyer. Is this like me and the boys going to get pizza or something?
Yeah.
Engines are malfunctioning.
I've got him.
When a girl walks into the local comic book shop.
It just looks like a bunch of sperm.
It does, doesn't it?
Where'd he go?
Shields almost gone.
The good thing they're not like Lucre Halts or something.
Yeah, seriously.
Watch for enemy ships.
Can you turn your sound on for a second, Corey? The game sound, please, or the stream sound. I know it'll reverberate. That's okay.
Alright, it's on.
Oh wait, there's a bunch of pilots just died, but I guess they stopped. Never mind. It was funny a minute ago, I swear.
My scopes are jammed. Where are the enemies? Shields almost gone.
Hey, Corey. Do you think this is the most Nebulon bees that have ever been assembled in one place? Like ever?
No.
Where would more have been assembled?
Sins of a Solar Empire with them.
Ah, yeah. Damn it.
I did when I was first testing the waters for lore videos, I did some like lore battle videos on my gaming,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it was like 500 Lancers versus the Eclipse.
And what one? I don't want to watch it.
I think the Lancers did.
Oh, you think? Now I gotta watch it for sure. The Lancers don't even have a single turbo laser, do they?
No. There were
Yikes.
500 of them. The super laser only gets so much mileage. And
Yeah.
You can target one to destroy some in a call, but
Oh, really?
4.
Wait, it'll destroy more than one with the super laser?
Yeah, because it's got a radius around the beam that it'll destroy.
Can you change the radius?
I can, yeah.
Is that how you could do? Could you do the subjugator like that? Obviously not kill, but
In Sins.
oh, it's sins. Okay. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't have 500 Lancers.
Yeah, I guess I should have thought that through.
That would have been.
I find the actual space combat in Sins to be kind of boring.
Yeah, it's definitely less engaging than Empire War.
Yeah.
Sins tends to be better for like a medium-sized map multiplayer game.
Fair enough. To be fair, I think I've actually seen that video. I'm just trying to get you. Trying to make you feel bad about yourself. That's what friends do.
Pretty early on in the Eckhart's Ladder days too.
Sure was recommended to me.
No, none of my videos ever get recommended.
Really, that sounds like one of the videos that could do well.
It did alright, but I'm just.
Oh, I should have counted how many Nebulon bees I had. I could have clickbaited the title. Oh, but right, it's on the other side. Damn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Charlie, buddy, sorry, but
You're watching every time I press the button. Oh.
I come back and one of the recent comments is someone saying, "Thanks, Corey, just unsubbed from Eck," and you plugging your Twitter account. Huh?
No. I definitely didn't tell people to unsub from you. And I didn't try to do esports commentary as
Dude, the Nebulons got crushed. Like, it's not even been close.
You basically had as many Nebulon bees as there were other ships on the other side.
No, there were way more Nebulon bees. There were like 50. No, there were more than 50. There were like 60.
If only someone had been counting. I think there's still like 20 left.
Nah.
Wow, warning is just ratting me.
It's ride or die. But in reality, though, yes, go follow him on Twitter.
Upgrade
No, I don't
in
care.
progress. Upgrade.
Well, at least go sub to the mod on. Is that what you call it on Steam? Is it subbing to a mod? Go sub to the mod on Steam.
Upgrade in progress.
Twitter is where I post all my deepest personal thoughts, because everything is content.
Complete.
The Empire shipbuilding strategy,
Upgrade.
circa 10 BBY, colorized.
Upgrade complete.
Even the background color matches, so I'm pretty sure they saw us put up the video for this mode, and they're like, yeah, we're just gonna
Upgrade
use that for the trailer tomorrow.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete.
Curtis Saxton's depiction of a small Imperial task force.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete.
Honestly, I kind of just want to do this until my game crashes.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete.
You're getting a much nicer spacing on them than I was.
Yeah. How many do we have so far? 44.
Upgrade complete.
See if you can cinematic cam on the front one, angle it back.
Oh,
and see if
yeah.
it's, similar to the.
Yes, Commander.
Sort of. I guess.
Might have to select one that's a bit more in the middle.
Yeah.
You can get the full coverage.
Awaiting orders.
You're right, though. The space is pretty much right. Oh, yeah, right. Are they all in the same... In the trailer, are they all in the same Z, or...
There is some variance, but only like the height of one word. You're on fast forward, so it's going to be a little bit laggy when you're doing that.
I built all ISD 1s.
Mass Effect.
Or, did I? Yeah, I did it.
Awaiting your orders.
Alright, back to it. Enough break.
Upgrade in progress.
This is how cool I actually built the ISDs. by the way.
Upgrade complete.
I feel like this needs to be faster somehow. I need to, like,
Upgrade complete.
get a better CPU just so I can build more Star Destroyers.
Upgrade complete.
It's almost as though it's slowing down the more there are.
Upgrade
Crazy that the Empire had to click this button 25,000 times.
complete. Upgrade complete. Upgrade
Really
in
makes you
progress.
think.
Alright,
Why
time.
didn't the Rebels just click it more times?
True.
Your command, sir.
Upgrade.
Sometimes
Okay,
it.
they're starting to pile up on.
Upgrade complete.
They're all just flying into that middle one now.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete.
Okay, now you need
Hold on.
what do you got?
The Empire always supports its Star Destroyers
Upgrade
perfectly.
in progress.
Okay, what, 58 of
We
them?
good.
So one Lancer frigate?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Commander.
nice. Nice.
Moving to coordinates.
So now you need 58
Uh-oh.
Nebulas. Oh god, you gave them an order? How'd you
Yeah.
do that?
I just want to see if it could happen. Oh no! My sound effect for ships crashing. I'm actually surprised my computer's doing so well.
Almost as like it's a really well optimized mod or something. I don't know.
Nah. It's because I got an RGB keyboard.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Oh,
the
and I'm on
frame
fast
would be
forward. I
better.
didn't even realize.
This
Yeah.
This is entirely your fault.
Oh god, the frames. The frames!
Upgrade in progress.
Smooth as
Upgrade complete.
Baby's bottom.
Upgrade complete.
Oh, I know what to do. I know how I can kill the game.
Upgrade cancelled. Upgrade complete.
how many Viscounts?
Upgrade complete.
Many.
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade in progress.
Oh my god, look at all these fighters.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete.
Actually, one of the things
It
that
reminds me.
fixed
Sorry.
the TIE Fighter Shadow Mesh was about 28,000 polygons.
Oh Jesus.
It's down to 500, so it's not good.
It reminds me of the Matrix with the Sentinels.
It reminds me of just like a school of anchovies or something.
Alright, one more.
Upgrade
We'll be
in
good.
progress.
Tell Corey to add a starter. He's already adding it, but say it's because of your $2 donation. Thank you very much, Swagmar.
Gravity control generator destroyed.
Oh my god. What we get? Every Star Destroyer attack this one Viscount. Oh god.
So, if people don't see a video from you for the next few days,
Just thinking that. Somehow burnt out my computer, is that possible? Oh god, them starfighters are coming. Better watch out, we have
Bomber squadron.
73 TIE bomber squadrons.
Setting up my run.
That's what, like 1,000 TIE bombers, basically?
I have calculator open already.
Ready for orders.
I do without counting.
876.
I actually have 97. I didn't catch all of them.
Ion cannon banks.
You would make a horrible Pokemon trainer.
I do, yeah.
That is 1164.
Cool. Honestly, I gotta say, the game is performing better than I expected. My computer's on power saving mode as well. Commissar John, always donating, says $10 to help replace the PC after this. Thank you. Swagmar says, what about the Imperium Ultra Star Destroyer? Yeah, Corey. What about the...
It's gonna be a no.
A no because it's already in the game?
I don't know if it would actually fit on it. That's the thing that holds an executor in the hangar, right?
Yeah.
Excellent shot.
Our engines are gone, sir.
It's like the different parts of the ships have like descended into like violent tribalism, like after sewer lines get cut off and shit.
Tightening up.
It's really funny. Have you ever read the thing written about it?
No, I try to avoid it.
No, it's like it's a parody. It's literally like parts of the. It's like kind of mocking how big Star. Here, I'll just find it. Let me read it. Well, this is happening.
Taking fire.
Here we go.
Commander.
All right. Oh, where's the? Okay, modern maiden-flight SDSD Freudian nightmare. Imperial Weapons Development Center course can't. To who it may concern, gentlemen, let me start by saying that I am greatly honored to be chosen of command for such a magnificent vessel. That being said, our in-system shakedown cruise has turned up a few minor issues that I would like to see remedied as soon as possible. Let me just find one that's funny. Our vessel's own gravity is not being handled as well as could be done, with some minor problematic consequences. Our plumbers called my attention to the fact that the sewage from our 6 million man crew backwashed through the air vent in section 42 to 78. Malaria and dysentery broke out in those sections, and we were forced to cordon off to prevent an epidemic. Our first chief medical officer, unfortunately, was killed when he requested the paperwork of those affected. And upon receiving emailed reports from all 739 of his senior doctors, the computer screen self-destructed, propelling shrapnel through his quarters. Aside from a minor note that some of our turbo laser turrets gunners may have starved to death when their food shipments were cut off by the war zone. There's like a war zone with the ship. We have finally decided that the staff requirements of the vessel are creating further problems. Our chief engineer has begun the habit of signing his reports Chief Marshal, Sovereign Nation of the Ricator. Funny. How's the battle going? Alright.
I'm gonna say not well. I don't know who it's going not well for. I assume your PC is...
Yeah. I like how one, the Viscounts... The Bounty 1, sorry, decided he didn't want to join his buddies.
Sir,
How many bounties we got in here?
Yeah.
I think
Well,
we only put in like 3 names.
We've got the
of
bounty 1, the cetacean. How do you say that? Cetacean?
Cetacean.
Yeah, okay. It's not like a word for like
The
a
iron cannons are
squid
offline.
I believe so.
relating to a squid. Another cetacean. I just think the info box isn't changing because the memory of Alderaan. I don't know if Alderaan would be a big fan of having a huge, massive dreadnought named after them. That's kind of like the Galactic Alliance naming a ship the Elagos Akla. Like I don't think he'd be a fan of that.
Pacifists love having giant war machines named after them.
Yeah.
Our primary engine
He was a
system is
real
down.
one too. One of my favorite Legends characters, or sorry, late Legends characters is Win Dorvin. Do you know him? It's like the Dala's like when she's chief of state, he's like her chief of staff, and then he becomes chief
Our
of state
engines are
later.
gone, sir.
He's so good.
We've lost the iron cannons.
I've become a huge fan of Worth Skitter
Our
since we
launch
started.
pad is gone.
I don't understand why that character exists.
Oh,
Our primary
we
engine
just lost
system is
something.
down.
I think that's the first death so far.
Hit that Control A and see how many Star Destroyers you got left.
Roger that.
Yeah, I think you've only
Taking out
lost
our
maybe
launch
one.
bay. Our engines are gone, sir.
Sorry, I accidentally muted myself and couldn't unmute myself there.
I was wondering what all the popping was.
Yeah. What is it about Worth Skitter you like so much?
I hate him in every possible way. He shows up and it seems like everyone in the galaxy knows who he
Our
is.
primary engine system is
It's
down.
just like
Calling out
he's
a
the
formation.
hip teen character that was introduced on a sitcom late in its run to get ratings back.
Is he the one in Vector Prime who's like doing the fancy flying at the beginning, or is that
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Worth Skitter.
I couldn't remember
All
if
that Worth Skitter always causing trouble. I was like, oh my god.
I couldn't remember if that was him or Ganner.
He's like causing diplomatic incidents between the two, Romumu and Asarion, I think
Yeah.
it is.
Because Ganner's kind of like that too, isn't he? Like, isn't he like kind of show-offy and like cocky, like he can't be killed or whatever?
A lot of the Jedi end up being like that.
Because then I remember he gets that scar and he like he chooses not to have it healed because he's like, this reminds me of shit.
It's not quite as bad as Pash Kraken joining the squad.
Been destroyed.
I just
Because
need to
he's-
be reminded how great I am.
They've
Sometimes I'm
taken
too
out
good
our
and it's
launch
really
bay.
just yeah. I did like the
I'm just
last
sick
stand
making
of
other people feel so bad for being around.
yeah, I do like the last stand of Ganner. Pretty cool.
Our launch bay is gone.
Where was that?
It was on it was in the World Brain, I think.
The iron
I always get
cannons
that
are offline.
confused with Korn and Ithor.
Oh yeah. Korn and Ithor only fought one, and he killed him. Ganner fought a bunch and died.
Well, that was Sulking Law.
We've lost the iron cannons.
on with Ganner.
Iron cannons are
No,
offline.
with Korn.
Oh, it
Lasers
was
are destroyed.
it was Who was it? I don't remember.
I thought it was Sulking Law, and then Savong took over.
No, because I don't think he was
Attack.
I don't think he was like. Pretty sure it was just a
Our
commander.
engines are gone, sir.
It was Shadao Shai
Oh,
with
okay.
Korn, yeah. Because he was just a commander. He wasn't a leader. Like he was commanding the Ithor forces, but he wasn't like a big Vong commander. I told you that I thought about starting a blog about the different ways that people spell Yuuzhan Vong to me in the comments section of my videos?
There's got to be at least 16, right?
Oh, at
There's
least,
Yuuzhan
yeah.
Vang,
Yeah.
which is definitely my favorite.
Our primary engine system is down.
And there's that in like 10 different ways, because there's USANG, which is just like, I'm like, yes, like feed me that. That's what I want.
Well, the part that I've never understood about that is like it's something that only exists in written media.
Yeah.
To request it, you have to be a decently big fan of it. And to be a decently big fan of it, you assume that you learned about it by writing or by reading.
You
It's
would,
just-
but
I see it written incorrectly more often than correct.
agreed.
Our launch bay is gone.
The thing is, though, what I've realized is, and this is fine, this isn't meant as an insult, but a lot of people who watch my videos, I know, have never read a single Legends book. They just like learning about the lore kind of secondhand, which is fine. Like, I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
Well, there's so
like,
much to go through that it's...
yeah,
But I
exactly.
just figure to request that
Our
topic,
launch bay.
Yeah.
then you have to have some kind of exposure to it before,
Mm-hmm.
which has to involve having read it.
What percentage of well, yeah, and to be fair, a lot of the time when people mention like spell Yuuzhan Vong wrong, it's in a video that has Yuuzhan Vong in the title.
Hmm.
What percentage of people would you say of Star Wars fans have read
We've lost the iron cannons.
more than one book in the New Jedi Order? 2 or more. What percentage of fans?
What are you counting as Star Wars fans? Because there's a lot of people
that's a good
that are
question.
Star Wars fans.
Okay,
that
let's go
enjoy it.
broad. What percentage of people who would go see a new Star Wars movie?
Who would go see a new Star Wars movie?
Yeah.
That's like less than 0.1%.
I would say it's like way less than that.
Well, I did say less than
Yeah.
0.1%.
Like, I don't know, besides for people who I know through YouTube, I don't know a single person who's ever read a book in the New Jedi Order.
Yeah. Well, like my roommate is like a pretty big Star Wars fan. He watches lore videos and I think he watched your channel before I started my channel. And so that if you want to just give Nick a shout out right now,
Nick, my man, I love you, buddy!
Yeah, there you go. And he's like he knows a lot about the expanded universe, but I don't think he's read any of the books at any
I
point.
think that's really common. And the thing is, you can be a huge, huge, huge Star Wars fan, too. Like, and never have... Like, I've got friends who I'd consider very, very big Star Wars fans, but they've never read a single EU book.
Yeah.
So,
And if they all just went to bookstores and started buying Legends books, then
Have been destroyed.
a sequel to Fate of the Jedi.
if only 10% of Star Wars fans did this incredible thing that no one would ever do.
They've taken out our launch bay.
Even Star by Star is a huge time
Our
commitment.
engines are gone.
And then there's 18 other books.
Yeah.
So,
Plus novellas and comics and...
yeah.
Our
Invasion,
primary engine system is down.
7 extra comics.
It is a little surprising that the Vong never made their way, besides for a brief mention in KOTOR, into a video game, like in any capacity.
Yeah.
It's like essentially where like Del Rey. I mean, obviously Del Rey doesn't have full any control over that, but like they were going for a more like less bantam approach with like kind of more connective tissue between each stories and more of like a actual story arc and
In
stuff.
the Vong, we're all connective tissue.
That's true.
Facts of connective tissue.
What do they call the doors again? Oh. The Vong have like a special name for their doors.
I forget. Villips were they
Yeah.
were fun. They were disgusting.
Yeah, Phillips are gross.
Just imagine the slurping noise they make
Yeah.
when they go on and off.
It's funny because that's what they do in the audiobook too. Like almost exactly like that. Have you listened to the audiobooks actually?
No.
Because that's like almost the exact sound it makes when
Well,
the Phillip
it's
opens.
just written in such a way that that has to be the sound, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Oh, it's gonna kill me if I can't remember the name of the doors.
The lasers have been destroyed.
What would you call it normally? Like a hatch, I guess? Like,
Yeah.
The iron cannons are offline.
I searched Yuuzhan Vong hatch and I found hatch sphincter, and I think that is what they call it. I think they just call it sphincters. which has everyone. You've got more than one sphincter in your body, but everyone just thinks anus.
Our launch bay is gone.
It's just where people go.
I'm on the wiki page for the Yuzon language.
Oh, nice. Anything interesting?
It shows how to conjugate to be. So
Shit, I never bother worrying about. Like even when we did our episode on
Destroyed.
oh, what's it called? On Truce of Bakura, I didn't even bother learning.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I was just like dinosaurs. Cyruvi, Cyrooks, I don't know. Cyruck.
yeah, there's a lot of comments telling me I'm pronouncing things incorrectly.
I'm sure there's some for
That's
me
another
too.
common one. Not on that. I just mean in general.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that it came up with that episode.
We've lost the iron cannons.
See if Tapcast had bells in the background. I might actually watch the podcast. Cool.
Listen on Spotify while you're doing other stuff.
Yeah.
Get that.
Okay, here's what you can do. This is secret. Don't tell anybody I told you this. Put this video on, mute it, and listen to the podcast. There you go.
Put the podcast on. Play it at
Our
3
lasers
times
are
speed,
destroyed.
and then you can have us sounding like chipmunks talking about Star Wars.
Beautiful. I think you mean Chadra fan. Let's keep this in universe.
Okay. Squibs.
Yes. I was just Fate of the Jedi has some squibs in it, by the way.
The lasers have been
Pretty-
destroyed.
they-
After
they-
they're introduced, how can you not have
Our
squibs
engines
in
are gone,
something?
sir.
Yeah, they feature pretty prominently actually. The squibs steal the Drock life serum. Do you remember Drocks? Those little bugs from Planet of
Yeah.
Twilight, I think. Yeah. Well, they're back.
I thought they came up a lot, but I might be just
Drocks?
remembering that one appearance from Fate of the Jedi.
I don't know. I mean, I think like they're mentioned sometimes because I think they've even been mentioned in one of the Tapcaf books. Oh yeah, one of the ships.
Is that what they are now? Tapcaf books?
Yeah. Oh, I know what it is. One of the Twi'lek.
Our launch bay.
Isn't there like they call it the Death Seed, and I took that as being a Drock reference.
Target critical.
Is that the name of the fighter? Yeah, that's the name of the fighter. Remember, they're ugly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if
shoot
they're
at.
related, but I
Our
assumed.
lasers are destroyed.
He's about to be destroyed.
The iron cannons are offline.
It says there was a minor scare on Tatooine and one ABY. Thank God the Imperial Department for Epidemic Prevention was there.
We've lost the iron cannons. The iron cannons are offline.
Yeah, I think they really are just in
Our primary engine system
Land
is
of
down.
Twilight and then Fate of the Jedi. And Star Wars Wiki doesn't take if there as being a connection. So
Regroup for another attack.
Well, there you go.
Our engines
It's
are gone,
the
sir.
be all end all.
yep. That's how it is. Alright, I think this is shit content. I'm gonna end it.
Alright.
Death Seed, my nickname in high school. Yikes.
Target lock narrowing.
I don't even know what that's
These
supposed
are left.
Closing on target.
There are, wow, there are actually only, what, 39? Or 40, I guess there is?
They've taken out our launch
We
bay.
Didn't we start with like 60 or something?
Yeah,
Pursuing
we're
enemy
really
forces.
getting down there. The Viscounts did better than I thought.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And the 6th one in the background.
I think, I think the Viscounts are going to have to, will take it, because this one's still basically
Yeah.
good.
We've lost the iron
This one's got shields down.
Enemy ships.
That one's,
Each
one of the
Viscount
Viscounts
worth
is
52
almost
now.
dead.
Our lasers are destroyed.
Oh yeah, they're going to take this for sure. Because they got so many hard points, they're hard to kill.
Yeah,
And
you also sent your ships like flying away from them at the start too, so they were like reverse picking fish in a shooting fish in a barrel.
Under control.
the only thing is the Empire does have a fighter advantage. And the Empire has a lot of ships that are completely healthy, but yeah.
Oh, if people want to see how that battle would end, they'd have to set it up themselves in mid-September when this mode.
Can you tell us how they would do that, Corey?
Well, if you subscribe to the Steam Workshop item for Thrawn's Revenge Imperial Civil War,
100% free.
In September, 100%, like 1,000% free.
Oh, free.
And mid-September, update will come out that will have this mode available for everyone, where you will be able to set up whatever fleets you want to fight whatever fleets you want.
I'll take care of this.
How about that? And what kind of game do they need to play that mod?
They need a game called Fortnite
Ah, yes.
or Star Wars Empire at War.
Gold edition.
Steam version. Get the Steam version, do not get the disc or GOG version, because that has not been patched the same way the Steam version has. So
Right.
I'm unsure if we'll be able to continue to support those versions. And we don't update them as much, even when we can support them, because it's a much worse process. Fun fact.
Where'd he go?
Can you even buy the non-gold version anymore?
You can't buy the non-gold version, but you can get like non-Steam versions that don't have the patch. Like, it's literally just Steam that has access
Right.
to the.
It's the autosave patch, right?
The save fix, and also fixing a few other engine bugs that were very important.
Huh. Alright, guys. That's all. Everyone say thanks to Corey. His social media links are down in the description. He says he doesn't care if you follow him, but... Oh, wait.
I
Aren't...
care if you follow on YouTube.
Wait, are the social media links in the description? They were. Oh, yeah, they're there. It's just right under...
Twitter is just where I annoy people with my personal.
Yeah, if you... It should be up... The links are always there, but now it says Corey's links. Follow his lore channel. He does, like... You're really the only one who does the really in-depth legend stuff. Well, at least the only, like, big YouTuber who does it.
I don't know if I'd call it
The
big
lasers have been destroyed.
me.
Yeah.
I think me.
Yeah. Established. Yeah, for sure.
I do have a channel.
Yeah, okay, so Corey does, like, kind of in-depth legend stuff. In-depth more than I do. Check that out. He's also got a gaming channel, which is where he got his start on YouTube, unless he's got some secret channel hidden somewhere. He does a lot of Empire at War stuff, and some other... What other games are you playing right now, Corey?
Knights of the Old Republic. I'm gonna start some RimWorld when I get back from some Star Wars mods in RimWorld. Make a Twilight column.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Sounds hot.
And make sure to subscribe to Eckhart's other channel for his gaming videos, but also his older SimCity video.
Is there a SimCity on there?
Not on yours.
Oh, you mean on my... I don't have any SimCity videos on my original.
Yeah, your other channel.
Oh, that I deleted that the other day.
Never mind.
Yep.
Unsubscribe.
Fully deleted it.
After I found Alex.
Yeah. No, the channel was already hidden. Well, I had all the videos hidden, but I was just like, ah.
Alright, well, thanks for having me on.
Well, it was 2.5 hours of your time, or 2 hours and 50 minutes of your time. You're never going to get back. So, seriously, thank you, Corey. Hopefully some of you guys play this mod, because it's awesome. The best Legends mod by far. My favorite Empire at War mod, if that means anything to you. Alright, see you guys later.